Hey everyone, how is everyone? I'm going to come on camera in 1 second. What in the hell? Okay. So how's everyone doing tonight? Oops. Hello, Steph, Boston, Heather. Is this still happening tonight? Or did it get moved till tomorrow? That's still happening, baby. Okay, we're going to get started in a minute. I want to see something real quick. You guys, I've never shared anything on StreamYard before, so we're going to try to do this. It may not work. It may work. Don't know. I'm going to try it and see what happens. I keep getting an error. Anyone else getting one? It's not showing any live footage. If it is doing that, hopefully I don't have to push this back. I already pushed it back because we're having a bad thunderstorm here. So my internet did go out once, but my internet always goes out. So that could be it. I'm not sure. Yeah, we were having a really bad thunderstorm here. A tree fell down the street, all that shit. So hopefully everything works out for the best. We'll see. Either way, we're going to push through. We are going to push through because I've been wanting to talk about this. It's not going to be a long live, I promise. Don't want to keep you guys all night. But the good thing is we're not talking about drama. So some people like that, some people don't. But all right. Okay. So first off, I want to start off by saying that I've always loved Brittany Spears. Brittany Spears is one of my favorite pop singers. I don't like her music as much now as much like when I used to. Like when I was growing up, I, would keep up with the whole Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake when she was with him. all that kind of stuff. Like, I love Britney Spears. I liked the movie that she was in. What was that called? Shit, what the hell was the name of that movie? Hey, you guys. I cannot remember the name of that movie. Was it Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman? Or was that the song? But anyway, I've always loved Britney Spears. So it's really sad, everything that she's going through right now. I definitely think that what's going on is definitely, to me, a human rights issue. Like, she doesn't even have any rights to her productive organs. So everybody who's here at Crossroads, that's it. Thank you guys. I like that movie. People make fun of that movie, but I liked it. I don't know. It is absolutely insane and unjust, and they have forced censorship on her for over 13 years. Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give a recap of from 2008 until now. I'm not going to tell you the whole details because I'm sure a majority of you guys already know the details of this case. I want you guys to put a 1 if you're up to date and you have heard Brittany Spears testify, or not a deposition, but if you heard her recent court appearance where she was talking, let me know. If not, then we can listen to it together. So put a 1 if you want to listen to it. Put a 2 if you don't. If you've already heard it, basically. My gel. I hate it when my gel flakes. 1. Okay. Yeah, it's sad stuff. It really is. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. I've never done this before, you guys, so bear with me, okay? I don't even know, like, what to go to. Video file? Share screen? Hold on, I think I can. Wait a minute. Hold on, I think I can do something. Hold on. Well, we'll only listen to a little bit of it. We're not going to listen to all of it. We'll just listen to a little bit. Oh, fuck it. Hold on, you guys. I'm not doing this. Hold on. Because I don't want to share it and then accidentally share something else. So just wait a second. I already have it downloaded. So until I figure out how to do this and do it the safe and right way, let's do it this way.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't been back to court in a long time because management could sue me if I didn't follow.
Okay, let's listen to it. So I want all of you guys to let me know if you can hear this.
I haven't been back to.
Yeah, you can hear this. My iPad is like super duper loud. Use share screen of you. Are you using a website? Use share from file if it's from something you've downloaded. Well, leave Brittany alone. Well, the thing is that it's downloaded to my Facebook. So I don't even know. I'm going to try something, you guys. Hold on. Okay, yeah, let's just do it this way. Because you can't see her anyway. So let's just listen to it like this.
Court in a long time because I don't think I was heard on any level when I came to court the last time. I brought 4 sheets of paper in my hands and wrote in length what I had been through the last 4 months before I came there. The people who did that to me should not be able to walk away so easily. I'll recap. I was on tour in 2018. I was forced to do. My management said if I don't do this tour, I will have to find an attorney.
I'm going to stop this for a minute. One of the things that, can you guys hear this okay? Yeah, we're going to listen to her voice. I hope you guys can hear this okay. But the one thing I wanted to say before I start this, she talks very, very fast. So just to let everyone know that.
Interrupt you, but my court reporter is taking down what you're saying.
Okay.
And so you have to speak a little more slowly.
Oh, of course, yes. Okay, I apologize. Great.
Everything you're saying.
Okay.
Now,
the people who did this to me should not get away and be able to walk away so easily. Recap. I was on tour in 2018. I was forced to do. My management said if I don't do this tour, I will have to find an attorney, and by contract, my own management could sue me if I didn't follow through with the tour. He handed me a sheet of paper as I got off the stage in Vegas and said I had to sign it. It was very threatening and scary, and with the conservatorship, I couldn't even get my own attorney, so out of fear, I went ahead and I did the tour. When I came off that tour, a new show in Las Vegas was supposed to take place. I started rehearsing early, but it was hard because I'd been doing Vegas for 4 years and I needed a break in between. But no, I was told this is the timeline and this is how it's going to go. I rehearsed 4 to 4 days a week, half of the time in the studio and half of the other time in a Westlake studio. I was basically directing most of the show with my whereabouts, where I preferred to rehearse and actually did most of the choreography, meaning I taught my dancers my new choreography myself. I take everything I do very seriously. There's tons of video with me at rehearsals. I wasn't good. I was great. I led a room of 16 new dancers in rehearsals. It's funny to hear my manager's side of the story. They all said I wasn't participating in rehearsals and I never agreed to take my medication, which my medication is only taken in the mornings, never at rehearsal. They don't even see me. So why are they even claiming that? When I said no to one dance move into rehearsals, it was as if I planted a huge bomb somewhere. And I said, no, I don't want to do it this way. After that, my management and my dancers and my assistant of the new people that were supposed to do the new show all went into a room, shut the door, and didn't come out for at least 45 minutes. Ma'am, I'm not here to be anyone's slave. I can say no to a dance move. I was told by my, at the time, therapist, Dr. Benson, who died, that my manager called him in that moment and told him I wasn't cooperating or following the guidelines in rehearsals. And he also said I wasn't taking my medication, which is so dumb because I've had the same lady every morning for the past 8 years give me my same medication, and I'm nowhere near these stupid people. It made no sense at all. There was a week period where they were nice to me and they said, I don't want to do, and I told them I don't want to do the, they were nice to me. They said, if I don't want to do the new Vegas show, I don't have to, because I was getting really nervous. I said, I can wait. It was like, they told me I could wait. It was like lifting literally 200 pounds off of me when they said I don't have to do the show anymore, because I was really, really hard on myself and it was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. So I remember telling my assistant, but you know what? I feel weird if I say no. I feel like they're going to come back and be mean to me or punish me or something. 3 days later, after I said no to Vegas, my therapist sat me down in a room and said he had a million phone calls about how I was not cooperating in rehearsals and I haven't been taking my medication. All of this was false. He immediately the next day put me on lithium out of nowhere. He took me off my normal meds I'd been on for 5 years. And lithium is a very, very strong and completely different medication compared to what I was used to. You can go mentally impaired if you take too much, if you stay on it longer than 5 months. But he put me on that and I felt drunk. I really couldn't even take up for myself. I couldn't even have a conversation with my mom or dad really about anything. I told them I was scared and my doctor had me on 6 different nurses with this new medication come to my home, stay with me, to monitor me on this new medication, which I never wanted to be on to begin with. There were 6 different nurses in my homes and they wouldn't let me get in my car to go anywhere. For a month. Not only did my family not do a goddamn thing, my dad was all for it. Anything that happened to me had to be approved by my dad, and my dad only acted like he didn't know that I was told I had to be tested over the Christmas holidays before they sent me away when my kids went home to Louisiana. He was the one who approved all of it. My whole family did nothing. Over the 2-week holiday, a lady came into my home for 4 hours a day, sat me down and did a psych test on me. It took forever. But I was told I had to then, after that I got off, I was told I had to then, after I got a phone call from my dad saying, after I did the psych test with this lady, basically saying I had failed the test or whatever. I'm sorry, Brittany, you have to listen to your doctors. They are planning to send you to a small home in Beverly Hills to do a small rehab program that we're going to make up for you. You're going to pay $60,000 a month for this. I cried on the phone for an hour and he loved every minute of it. The control he had over someone as powerful as me, as he loved the control to hurt his own daughter 100,000%, he loved it. I packed my bags and went to that place. I worked 7 days a week, no days off, which in California, the only similar thing to this is called sex trafficking, making anyone work against their will, taking all their possessions away, credit card, cash, phone, passport card, and placing them in a home where they work with the people who live with them. They all lived in the house with me, the nurses, the 24/7 security. There was one chef that came there and cooked for me daily during the weekdays. They watched me change every day naked, morning, noon, and night. My body, I had no privacy door for my room. I gave 8 gallons of blood a week. If I didn't do any of my meetings and work from 8 to 6 at night, which is 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, no days off, I wouldn't be able to see my kids or my boyfriend. I never had a say in my schedule. They always told me I had to do this. And ma'am, I will tell you, sitting in a chair 10 hours.
This is the greatest idea you'll ever hear.
Commercial.
Okay. It's an app that compares
hours a day, 7 days a week. It ain't fun. And especially when you can't walk out the front door. And that's why I'm telling you this again 2 years later. After I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy, it's a lie. I thought maybe I said that enough. Maybe I might become happy because I've been in denial. I've been in shock. I am traumatized. Fake it till you make it. But now I'm telling you the truth, okay? I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I'm so angry, it's insane, and I'm depressed. I cry every day, and the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't think how the state of California can have all this written in the court documents from the time I showed up and do absolutely nothing, just hire with my money another person to keep my dad on board. Ma'am, my dad and anyone involved in this conservatorship and my management who played a huge role in punishing me when I said, no, ma'am, they should be in jail. Their cool tactics working for Miley Cyrus as she smokes on joints and stage at the VMAs. Nothing is ever done to this generation for doing wrong things. But my precious body, who's worked for my dad for the past fucking 13 years, trying to be so good and pretty, so perfect when he works me so hard, when I do everything I'm told in the state of California, allowed my ignorant father to take his own daughter, who only has a role with me if I work with him. They set back the whole course and allowed him to do that to me. That's given these people I've worked for way too much control. They also threatened me and said if I don't go, then I have to go to court. And it would be more embarrassing me if the judge publicly makes you go the evidence we have. You have to go. I was advised for my image, I need to go ahead and just go and get it over with. They said that to me. I don't even drink alcohol. I should drink alcohol, considering what they put my heart through. Also, the Bridges facility they sent me to, none of the kids, I was doing this program for 4 months. So the last 2 months I went to a Bridges facility. None of the kids there did the program. They never showed up for any of them. You didn't have to do anything if you didn't want to. How come they always made me go? How come I was always threatened by my dad and anybody that participated in this conservatorship? If I don't do this, what they tell me to enslave me to do, they're going to punish me. The last time I spoke to you by just keeping the conservatorship going and also keeping my dad in the loop made me feel like I was dead. Like I didn't matter. Like nothing had been done to me. Like you thought I was lying or something. I'm telling you again because I'm not lying. I want to feel heard. And I'm telling you this again so maybe you can understand the depth and the degree and the damage that they did to me back then. I want changes and I want changes going forward. I deserve changes. I was told I have to sit down and be evaluated again if I want to end the conservatorship. Ma'am, I didn't know I could petition the conservatorship to end it. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I honestly didn't know that. But I don't think I owe anyone to be evaluated. I've done more than enough. I don't feel like I should even be in a room with anyone to offend me by trying to question my capacity of intelligence, whether I need to be in this stupid conservatorship or not. I've done more than enough. I don't owe these people anything, especially me, the one that has roofed and fed tons of people on tour on the road. It's embarrassing and demoralizing what I've been through, and that's the main reason. I've never said it openly, and mainly I didn't want to say it openly because I honestly don't think anyone would believe me. To be honest with you, the Paris Hilton story on what they did to her to that school, I didn't believe any of it. I'm sorry, I'm an outsider, and I'll just be honest, I didn't believe it. And maybe I'm wrong, and that's why I didn't want to say any of this to anybody, to the public, because I thought people would make fun of me or laugh at me and say, she's lying, she's got everything, she's Brittany Spears. I'm not lying. I just want my life back, and it's been 13 years, and it's enough. It's been a long time since I've owned my money, and it's my wish and my dream for all of this to end without being tested. Again, it makes no sense whatsoever for the state of California to sit back and literally watch me with their own two eyes make a living for so many people and pay so many people trucks and buses on tour on the road with me and be told I'm not good enough. But I'm great at what I do, and I allow these people to control what I do, ma'am, and it's enough. It makes no sense at all. Now, going forward, I'm not willing to meet or see anyone I've met with enough people against my will. I'm done. All I want is to own my money for this to end and my boyfriend to drive me in his fucking car. And I would honestly like to sue my family, to be totally honest with you. I also would like to be able to share my story with the world and what they did to me instead of it being a hush-hush secret to benefit all of them. I want to be able to be heard on what they did to me by making me keep this in for so long is not good for my heart. I've been so angry and I cry every day. It concerns me. I'm told I'm not allowed to expose the people who did this to me. For my sanity, I need you to the judge to approve me, do an interview where I can be heard on what they did to me. And actually, I have the right to use my voice and take up for myself. My attorney says I can't, it's not good. I can't let the public know anything they did to me. And by not saying anything is saying it's okay. I don't know what I said here. It's not okay. I don't want to interview. I'd much rather just have an open call to you for the press to hear, which I didn't know today we're doing. So thank you. Instead of having an interview, honestly, I need that to get it off my heart, the anger and all of it that's been happening. It's not fair they're telling me lies about me openly. Even my family, they do interviews to anyone they want on news stations. My own family doing interviews and talking about the situation and making me feel so stupid. And I can't say one thing. And my own people say I can't say anything. It's been 2 years. I want a recorded call to you. Actually, we're doing this now, which I didn't know that we were doing this. To the public, I say knows what they did to me. I told I know my lawyer, Sam, has been very scared for me to go forward because he's saying if I speak up, I'm being overworked in that facility, that rehab place. The rehab place will sue me. He told me I should keep it to myself, really. I would personally like to, actually, I know I've had grown with a personal relationship with Sam, my lawyer. I've been talking to him like 3 times a week now. We've kind of built a relationship, but I haven't really had the opportunity by my own self to actually handpick my own lawyer by myself. And I would like to be able to do that. I would like to also, the main reason why I'm here is because I want to end the conservatorship without having to be evaluated. I've done a lot of research, ma'am, and there's a lot of judges who do end conservatorships for people without them having to be evaluated all the time. The only times they don't is if a concerned family member says something's wrong with this person and otherwise, and considering my family has lived off my conservatorship for 13 years, I won't be surprised if one of them has something to say, go forward and say, we don't think this should end. We have to help her, especially if I get my fair served in turning exposing what they did to me. Also, I want to speak to you about, at the moment, my obligations, which I personally don't think at the very moment I owe anybody anything. I have 3 meetings a week I have to attend no matter what. I just don't like feeling like I work for the people whom I pay. I don't like being told I have to, no matter what, even if I'm sick. Jody, the conservator, says I have to see my coach Ken even when I'm sick. I would like to do 1 meeting a week with a therapist. I've never, even before they sent me to that place, had 2 therapy sessions. A therapy session and 1 therapy session with I have a doctor and then a therapy person. What I've been forced to do illegal in my life, I shouldn't be told I have to be available 3 times a week to these people I don't know. I'm talking to you today because I feel, again, yes, even Jody is starting to kind of take it too far with me. They have me going to therapy twice a week and a psychiatrist. I've never in the past they have me going, twice a week. And
yo, check this out. Beast has new
I'll show again, but it's almost over, so.
I'm a Dr. Gold, so that's 3 times a week. I've never in the past had to see a therapist more than once a week. It takes too much out of me going to this man I don't know. Number one, I'm scared of people. I don't trust people with what I've been through. And the clever setup of being in Westlake, one of the most exposed places in Westlake, which yesterday, paparazzi showed me coming out of the place, literally crying in therapy. It's embarrassing and it's demoralizing. I deserve privacy when I go. I deserve privacy when I go and have therapy, either at my home, like I've done for 8 years. They always come to my home. Or when the Dr. Vincent, the man that died, I went to a place similar to what I went to in Westlake, which was very exposed and really bad. Okay, so wait, where was I? In Westlake, it was identical to Dr. Vincent, who died, the one who illegally, 100% abused me by the treatment he gave me too. And to be totally honest with you, I was
Excuse me for interrupting you, but my reporter says if you could just slow down a little bit because she's trying to make sure she gets everything that you're saying.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay.
that would be great.
I have been through, and the clever stuff in Westlake is identical to Dr. Vincent, who died, the one who illegally, 100% abused me by the treatment he gave me. And to be totally honest with you, when he passed away, I got on my knees and thanked God. In other words, my team is pushing it with me again. I have trapped phobias being in small rooms because the trauma locking me up for 4 months in that place. Is not okay for them to send me, I'm going fast, to that small room like that twice a week with another new therapist I pay that I never even approved. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. And I haven't done anything wrong to deserve this treatment. It's not okay to force me to do anything I don't want to do. By law, Jody and this so-called team I should be able to sue them for threatening me and saying, if I don't go and do these meetings twice a week, we can't let you have your money and go to Maui on your vacations. You have to do what you're told for this program, and then you will be able to go. But it was very clever that one of the most exposed places in Westlake, knowing I have the hot topic of the conservatorship, that over 5 paparazzis are going to show up and get me crying coming out of that place. I begged them to make sure that they did this at my home so I would have privacy. I deserve privacy. The whole conservatorship from the beginning, once the conservatorship from the beginning, once you see someone, whoever it is in the conservatorship, making them money and myself money and working, that whole statement right there, the conservatorship should end. There should be I shouldn't be in a conservatorship if I can work and provide money and work for myself and pay other people. It makes no sense. The laws need to change. What state allows people to own another person's money and account and threaten them and saying, you can't spend your money unless you do what we want you to do, and I'm paying them? Ma'am, I've worked since I was 17 years old. You have to understand how thin that is for me. Every morning I get up to know I can't go on somewhere unless I meet people I don't know every week in an office identical to the one where the therapist was very abusive to me. I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive. And then we can sit here all day and say, oh, conservatorships are here to help people. But ma'am, there's 1,000 conservatorships that are abusive as well. I don't feel like I can live a full life. I don't owe them to go see a man I don't know and share him my problems. I don't even believe in therapy. I always think you take it to God. I want to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. In the meantime, I want this therapist once a week. He can either come to my home. No, I just want him to come to my home. I'm not willing to go to Westlake and be embarrassed by all these paparazzi, these scummy paparazzi laughing at my faces while I'm crying, coming out and taking my pictures as all these white, nice dinners with people drinking wine at restaurants, watching me leave these places. They set me up by sending me to the most exposed places, and I told them I didn't want to go there because I knew paparazzi would show up there. They only gave me 2 options for therapists, and I'm not sure how you make your decisions, ma'am, but this is the only chance for me to talk to you for a while. I need your help. So if you can just kind of let me know where your head is. I don't really honestly know what to say, but my requests are just to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. I want a petition basically conservatorship, but I want it to be petitioned to end it, but I don't want to be evaluated and be sat in a room with people 4 hours a day like they did me before, and they made it even worse for me after that happened. So I'm honestly new at this, and I'm doing research on all these things. I do know common sense and the method that things can end. For people, it has ended without them being evaluated. So I just want you to take that in consideration. I've also done research. Also took a year during COVID to get me any self-care methods during COVID. She said there were no services available. She's lying, ma'am. My mom went to the spa twice in Louisiana during COVID. For a year, I didn't have my nails done, no hairstyling and no massages, no acupuncture, nothing for a year. I saw the maids in my home each week with their nails done different each time. She made me feel like my dad does, very similar, her behavior and my dad, but just a different dynamic. Team wants me to work and stay home instead of having longer vacations. They are used to me sort of doing a weekly routine for them, and I'm over it. I don't feel like I owe them anything at this point. They need to be reminded they actually work for me. They trick me by sending me to the, okay, I repeated myself there. Also, I was supposed to be able to, I have a friend that I used to do AA meetings with. I did AA for 2 years. I have I did 3 meetings a week. I met a bunch of women there, and I'm not able to see my friends that live 8 minutes away from me, which I find extremely strange. I feel like they're making me feel like I live in a rehab program. This is my home. I'd like for my boyfriend to be able to drive me in his car. And I want to meet with a therapist once a week, not twice a week. And I want him to come to my home because I actually know I do need a little therapy. I was told, hold on. I think and I would like to progressively move forward, and I want to have the real deal. I want to be able to get married and have a baby. I was told right now in the conservatorship, I'm not able to get married or have a baby. I have a ID inside of myself right now, so I don't get pregnant. I wanted to take the ID out so I could start trying to have another baby, but this so-called team won't let me go to the doctor to take it out because they don't want me to have any more children. So basically, this conservatorship is doing me way more harm than good. I deserve to have a life. I've worked my whole life. I deserve to have a 2 to 3 year break and just, do what I want to do. But I do feel like there is a crutch here, and I feel like I feel open and I'm okay to talk to you today about it. But I wish I could stay with you on the phone forever, because when I get off the phone with you, all of a sudden, I hear all these no's. No, and then all of a sudden I feel ganged up on, and I feel bullied, and I feel left out and alone, and I'm tired of feeling alone. I deserve to have the same rights as anybody does by having a child, a family, any of those things, and more so. And that's all I wanted to say to you, and thank you so much for letting me speak to you today.
Okay, beauties. All right, let's talk about this. 1 second. Let me put all this crap away. I can't even think everything has to be in its place. Is anybody else like that? Like, I can't even think right. Everything just is everywhere. I had to put some setting powder up under my eyes before I came on here. Refreshing your makeup. And I spilled it everywhere. My brand new Anastasia setting powder. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this, because obviously the situation is really sad. Can you? I I didn't turn that off. So in 2008, what I will say is that, right? In 2008 is when this whole thing started. Does everybody remember when Brittany kind of was everywhere? From the research that I have done, back in the day when this whole thing started, to me, Brittany's mental health started being very noticeable, that she was having problems when I feel it started when her and Justin Timberlake broke up. That's when I really, really started noticing a change in her. And then I think it got worse after she had her first child. I thought conservatorship was supposed to be a last resort and mainly for when someone is mentally incapable of managing their money, etc. She is beyond capable. It is not fair. Her father tried to say that when she shaved her head, it was to avoid drug testing. That's still, well, her father's a fucking, never mind. But anyway, that is when I started noticing her mental health like really deteriorating or whatever. And it was in front of everybody, right? So the first thing that people need to know is that every single thing that Brittany Spears did when she was going through her mental health situation, when she was struggling with it, was for everybody to see. Everybody. We also need to keep in mind that she has been in the entertainment industry since she was like 10, maybe even younger. And also, she blew up and became famous at a very young age as well. When her and Justin Timberlake broke up, it really showed how misogynistic America is. I'm not talking about other countries, everybody, regardless, because if you dig deeper into Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, and this is not about them, but this is when I feel like I first saw something wasn't right, and you could very much tell. Justin Timberlake has cheated on Britney Spears too. I think he cheated on Britney Spears before she cheated on him. And obviously we all know that Britney Spears cheated on Justin Timberlake with one of her dance choreographers, which his name was Wade Robinson. And Wade Robinson is the guy that when he was little, he was actually in a rap group. And when he was little, he was also best friends with Michael Jackson. And now he's suing the Michael Jackson estate for like, I don't know, $50 million or whatever, him and somebody else. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, that is just when I started noticing. But one of the reasons why I feel like Britney Spears started, her mental health was getting worse and worse is because you have to put yourself in her position. Imagine people there. I think the governor of, I can't even remember, Louisiana there. I have some notes that I'm going to look at too. The governor somewhere went and spoke somewhere at a rally and said that she wishes Britney Spears was dead because of the way she dresses and how much of a bad influence she is towards little girls. Then that's enough. And you're not getting no more snack. Yes, but don't eat the whole bag, and you're not getting any more after that. You just had.
Remember what you said you would shout out to?
I will shout that out later, okay?
Shout it out now.
No, I'm busy. Now go. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Now what was I saying? Oh, just basically saying Britney Spears was a bad influence. People were attacking her. She was literally one of the most hated younger celebrities in the world because everybody felt so bad for Justin Timberlake. And let's not forget the work that Justin Timberlake did. He used his breakup with Britney Spears to his advantage. He exploited it. He talked about it whenever he possibly could. And literally, Britney Spears was always very vocal about that she was going to stay a virgin until she got married. And she didn't, obviously. Maybe Justin Timberlake was her first. I'm sure he was. And Justin Timberlake just tells everybody on a radio station, Cry Me a River, right? Like everyone was attacking her. So you have to understand that nobody said anything to Justin Timberlake. Nobody. Oh, thank you so much, Steph. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful. You know, nobody attacked him. He literally, let's just say he had a hand in why Britney Spears was deteriorating the way that she was as far as her mental health, okay? And the one thing that always concerned me about Britney Spears is I don't understand, and some people may disagree with me on this, and that's okay. No, not everybody's going to agree with me on this, but you never seen celebrities out as much as her. Because she was struggling so much with her mental health, she has assistants and things like that to go get things for her, but she was always out. Everywhere she went, the paparazzi were like freaking roaches, for goodness sakes, okay? I hate roaches. But they were everywhere. And from my investigation, TMZ, they pretty much said that Britney Spears was like crack to them or something, because if you were to find a certain kind of picture, and I'm talking about the paparazzi, if you were to get a certain kind of picture of Britney Spears, it was worth $50,000, sometimes $100,000. So why do you think those paparazzi people were swarming to her like freaking roaches? Because it was money. She was money. And my only complaint about it is, okay, I understand your celebrity status shouldn't put your life on hold. You know, you should be able to go places. But it always bothered me how she was everywhere. And there was nobody around her that she could trust, because I don't understand how every single time she would go out, it didn't matter where she was at what time, the paparazzi were everywhere. So she had to have somebody on the inside tipping the paparazzi off. She had to. Brittany Spears' business manager is the one who started it all with this conservatorship. Hope I'm saying it right. And I want to get her name right. So let me just look it up, because there are still a lot of questionable things. And ultimately, I'm going to tell you guys the good news. And I'm also going to tell you from my investigation, the bad news and what's most likely going to happen. Okay, so Britney Spears' business manager's name is Lou Ann Taylor. Yeah, Lou Ann Taylor. Or Lou Taylor, whatever. And let me tell you something. She is a shiesty one. And I personally think that something's going on with her. Hey, Chicken Wings, how are you? I think there's something going on with her and Britney Spears' father. Because, I don't know, she is vicious. I don't know. She's the one who started it all with this conservatorship. So what led Britney Spears up to this conservatorship is everything was on fucking camera. She shaved her head. Somebody tipped the paparazzi off. Her father, which somebody said here, the reason why she shaved her head was to avoid a drug test. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's why she shaved her head. One of the things that she said, the barber who didn't actually even buzz her hair off, Britney Spears actually did it herself in the barbershop, but she had said Britney Spears, she was trying to talk her out of cutting her hair. And Britney Spears just kept saying, she's like, why do you want to do this? The barber was like, why do you want to do this? And she's like, because I don't want anybody touching me. I'm tired of everybody touching me. That in itself goes hand in hand to me with MK Ultra. We'll talk about that one day. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow, because I am very, very into MK Ultra, and I really feel like it rules Hollywood. When she says, I don't like to be touched, I don't want to be touched, that triggers something in me to where it brings it back to MK Ultra and the things that celebrities go through when it comes to MK Ultra. So we're not going to talk about that though. But I think that was one of the reasons. And I also think it's just because, in my personal opinion, I felt like people made too much of a big deal about it. And it shows you once again how America is. We as Americans literally talk too much about it. Was just hair. Hair grows back. For some people it doesn't, but hair grows back. And everybody was making a big deal about it like it was the most devastating thing they've ever saw, over dramatic. I'm just like, okay, it is a little bit odd that she's doing that, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But again, it was on camera. Another situation is, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of my story and why I think that this was what did it all. Losing her kids. Everything was happening to Britney Spears back to back. And obviously once she got over Justin Timberlake, which I don't really think Britney Spears was as over him as we all thought she was. And she ended up marrying a scumbag named Kevin Federline. And to me, I never liked him. He had a baby on the way with Shar Jackson when he met Britney Spears. I don't know. He just seemed very opportunistic to me, like an opportunist at his finest, and he hit the jackpot when he met Britney, and Britney ended up having 2 beautiful boys with him. And when she divorced him, I think obviously that's another thing that contributed to her mental health. Like everything surrounded around Britney Spears was toxic, and nobody around her had her best interests at heart. When you look at somebody like Beyonce, and it's a shame when you have your own family surrounded around you, but with Britney Spears, it wasn't just her family, it was just everybody. But you look at somebody like Beyonce and you say, how is it that Beyonce has managed to be so graceful, so classy, when we all know that is the image? Beyonce is very, very protective of her image. She's the queen. So, but Beyonce has her family that had her best interests at heart. She had her father as a manager, which, whatever. Her mother was her stylist, hairstylist. Her cousin was her attorney. She had her family surrounded around her with her best interest at heart. Every single person that was surrounded around Britney Spears were toxic and greedy. Okay. So when she got her kids taken away, let me tell you guys something. Kevin Federline was at her house. Obviously somebody tipped the paparazzi off. Kevin Federline was at her house to pick up the kids. They were in the middle, I'm pretty sure, of a custody battle. He ended up getting custody, and she didn't want to let her kids go one day. And she had like a nervous breakdown. They sent her to the hospital and everything like that. I think shaving the hair was just the icing on the cake of what, pretty much did it for her. But don't worry, I'm going to look at all of your comments as soon as I'm done. But the one thing that I will say is that I know what it's like when you are very afraid that you are going to lose the most important things in your life. I feel like ultimately that had a lot to do with her mental health. And I feel like that had a huge impact on her mental health overall, because after my mother passed, I don't want my boys to hear. Not that they're listening, but after my mother passed, handsome guy who was just in here, do we remember Shar Jackson doing reality TV at this time as well? I don't think she was. And thank you, Steph. You're so sweet. I don't think she was, Steph. She might have been, though. I know Shar Jackson, wasn't she on Moesha? But I don't remember her being in reality TV at that time. She may have been, though. I'll have to look that up. Shar Jackson is Kevin Federline's baby's mom. He has, I think, 2 kids with her, actually. So she was on reality TV. Okay. But after I had lost my mother, that little handsome guy that's in here, he is, I was with his father from a, previous relationship before I met my soulmate. It didn't work out between me and his father. And I don't want to get into too many details about it, but after my mom died, my mental health was really bad as well. And I moved 2 times, maybe 3, because I couldn't find a job. I lost everything after I lost my mom. And then I couldn't find a job. I had roommates. I had 2 roommates, and then I moved again. I was bouncing around from house to house. And from the outside, I'm not going to lie, it probably looked bad to a lot of people, because after my mom passed, I didn't want anything to do with my family. I didn't want to be a burden towards them, because I knew that they were suffering as much as I was. Okay. So I didn't want it to be about me, even though my mother, everyone knows that my mother was the closest thing I had. So after I had lost everything, I still was managing and taking care of my kids, but we were moving around a lot. We moved like 3 times, 2 or 3 times. And finally, I couldn't take it anymore. And I just decided to reach out to my family, because everyone around me was toxic and were trying to use me. Even the roommates I had, they were trying to use me, and I didn't have anything for them to use me for. They pretended as though they were friends, and ultimately they weren't. So when I reached out to family, they got my head in the right place, and I started getting my life back together and learning how to live without my mom. It's family. Family is what I needed more than people that I thought were my friends. And I'll go more in depth with the story, but when I reached out to my aunt, she took me under her wing. She got my head right. I ended up moving. She got me an apartment. I ended up moving right across the hall from her. Don't be sorry, you guys. It literally was probably the best thing that happened to me, because it made me so strong. But thank you guys. I ended up moving across the hall from my aunt, and I get papers in the mail. A week prior to that, my son's dad asked me if he could have him for a year. And I said, and it's because he was watching me struggle. He thought it was funny. That's just the type of man that he was. And I can understand also part of him, it was probably coming from a good place of like, this isn't stable. You've moved 3 times already, but still, he asked me if he could take him for a year. And automatically I'm like, no. And the reason why, it was not a selfishness, but at that time, I was already starting to get my life back together. So after I moved in with my aunt, probably 3 days later, I got papers in the mail saying that he was filing for custody. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I literally dropped down. It was in front of my aunt. It was in front of my boys. It was in front of everybody. It was very traumatic. I dropped down, and I literally thought, I can't do this, because losing, just sitting there thinking about living without my son. And if you knew his father, you would understand why I did that, because it wasn't because he cared. It was more something else. Okay. But I was devastated. I was devastated. I was depressed. I dropped down to the floor. I started screaming because I thought he was going to get custody. Like everyone around me, because at that time I was getting my life back together, you know? And why didn't you do it? Like, had he asked maybe 6 months prior, I may have said yes. However, had I handed him over, it wouldn't have been for a year. Trust me. He would have just kept him. And then I would have had to spend a whole bunch of money to try to get him back. It would have just been horrible. So that's one of the reasons why. But I know what that does to you. I literally had a breakdown, like literally mentally broke down, because I had already lost my mother. And everyone around me, like my family, was like, Tia, if you lose that little boy, it's going to kill you. Because I went through so much. And then I found out, oh my God, now I'm going to lose my son, you know? So it motivated me to want to do better. You know what I'm saying? And I did. And I showed everybody. I got a car, got 3 flat screen TVs. I worked my ass off and I got everything together. And of course, his dad wasn't happy about that, but you'd think he would be, right? Because I don't want to talk about him too much. One day we'll talk about it. But regardless, maybe a private live stream. That's what we'll do it. But I was just mentally gone, like mentally. And I was ready to give up, and it made me fight. And when I went to court, everyone around me, like people that I worked with, was like, he's not going to get custody of him. I'm like, yes, he is. Yes, he is. I was so scared to lose my baby, you know? And everyone would tell me, because I'm stubborn, nobody can tell me anything. And everyone's like, Tia, it's not going to happen. No judge in his right mind is just going to give this child that's been with you for 6 years that you've raised, and now you lost your mom, you're getting your life back together. There's no judge that's going to do that. Now, if you were just sitting on your ass not doing anything, that would be different. And he went through with it all. You think he would drop it? He went through with it all. And of course, he lost. Justice prevailed. But that's not the first time he did it either. It's another story. But anyway, I know how it feels, the thought of losing your child. So imagine how everything around Brittany Spears was just so messed up. And then to top it all off, she loses her kids, both of them. Losing her kids to somebody who I don't even like Kevin Federline. Like, who knows what kind of dad he is? Obviously, he wants what's best for his kids. You got to look at it on the bright side. But at the same time, this mother lost her children. And I think it just broke something in her. It breaks your soul. I know how it feels. And I didn't lose my child. I couldn't imagine if I did. I don't think I would have made it, you guys. I just don't. Even though I already had my oldest son, you know, he kept me going, but I don't think I would have made it. I think I probably would have been in a mental institution somewhere had I lost my baby, because he's my everything, you know what I mean? And then losing my mother, that's why everyone was like, if you lose your child, it'll kill you. You just lost your mother. You know, you lost your job after you lost your mother. You lost your car. I lost everything, you guys. I just couldn't function. It was very hard. So I worked on everything that I needed to work on to make sure that my child stayed with me. But with Brittany Spears, it's a different situation, and she lost her kids, you know. So I just don't think people understand how horrible that is. It breaks your heart. It really does. So ultimately, I think that that's what did it for her. And watching her is sad, because everybody would make fun of her, talk about her, You know, nobody was nice. Like, we as Americans are so heartless sometimes, and we are especially heartless to celebrities. It's almost as if we think because celebrities have money, and I think Britney Spears even said this, it's almost because we think celebrities have money, and because we as Americans think money is just everything and it's the answer to all your prayers, to all your problems. No, it's not. The more money you make, the more problems you have. So I just feel like it's something that really, I just think we as Americans need to not be so hard on celebrities and feel like, and think that just because celebrities have so much money that they don't have any problems. Because if you look at celebrities, a majority of them have problems. A majority of them. Like, if Britney Spears was a man, this would not be happening to her. If she was a man. Because if you think about it, how many men have deteriorated? Look at shit. Who could we say? Shia LaBeouf? Look at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at what type of person, everything that he went through in life. You know what I mean? Kanye West. Look at him. Like, Kanye West has had how many breakdowns? Okay? He has had so many freaking breakdowns. It's crazy, right? And nothing has happened to him. He didn't lose his estate. As a matter of fact, Kanye West is a billionaire because of his Yeezy line. It's just really sad, you know, how her own family, I think if it was just that she was surrounded around, you know, people that were managers, things like that, but she has had nothing but family surrounded around her as well. Her mother, her sister, which her sister just spoke out. If you guys want to hear that, I can play that for you too. But nobody, her brother, everyone who's surrounded around her has literally just sucked everything out of her. Everything. Almost as if, you know, listening to her talk as if like they've taken everything from her, as if she doesn't have anything to give anymore. So now we're going to move on to how Britney Spears looks. You can see it in her face, you guys. Like, we have to thank God for all of the fans who started the Free Britney movement, because if it wasn't for them, who knows what would be happening right now. Yep, Mel Gibson, Trump, Sean Penn, all of these, you know, actors that are men have definitely, Charlie Sheen. Oh my gosh, Charlie Sheen. I think he's the worst. And you see, he's still a millionaire. But if you watched Britney Spears and you watch her IG, that's when I started saying, wow, like, what's wrong with her? Like, something wasn't right. Like, she was dancing, and she also has a TikTok too. And one day I was just watching her. I just went through her entire IG. This was probably like a few months ago. And her makeup is always smeared, and it's almost like she has to force herself to smile. There was one time when she was working out with her boyfriend, which I find is very questionable as well. She was working out with her boyfriend, and he literally stopped and told her to smile because she wasn't smiling. Tia, please remember that hysteria in women was once faulty medical diagnosis. Yes, Steph. I agree with that. If she gets out of this and gets free, I would have to disown him and sue him. Yes. And I don't know. Well, that's what she said when she was talking in court, she did say that all of her family should be sued. I didn't make that up in the title. She actually said that. No, she said all of them should be in jail. And definitely there needs to be some consequences to their actions, because every single one of her family members has literally sat there and sucked everything out of her. And there's another thing that I took from my notes that I wanted to share with you guys, because I personally feel like, as I'm kind of like adding things up in my head, I write my notes down on my iPad, you guys. My iPad's like everything. It seemed like she either had bad makeup on from the day before, or that she was constantly crying. Right. It could be either or. Doctors used to treat women for hysteria in barbaric ways. I know. And we can definitely talk about that. Like, I'm definitely going to be doing a video with Steph, because I'm telling you guys, she's one of a kind, that girl. I want to do a video with you on these kinds of things. I'm going to email you. Let me find my screenshots. Okay. Or my notes. Okay, so what I've noticed her father has conservatorship of her estate, and also Brittany Spears, which to me is very, it's crazy that he has conservatorship over both. And what we need to keep in mind is Brittany Spears never knew that she could petition the conservatorship. Otherwise, she said she would have done it a long time ago. Oh, you're so cute, Steph. All the money they've made is ridiculous, like lawyer fees. Her father can hire his own attorney with her money, but she can't. Isn't it? And it makes you so mad, doesn't it? It really does. It makes you so mad. All right, so what I was noticing is, okay, so since the conservatorship, which has been for 13 years, Brittany Spears has came out with 4 albums. She did a Vegas residency, and I'm pretty sure she did that for a few years. She became a judge on X Factor. She created a perfume. She has all different kinds of perfume. I actually love a couple of her perfumes. What else does she do? And I think she had a few endorsement deals as well, but I'm not that great with math, but her estate is only worth $80 million. And to me, something ain't right. To me, that's just, it seems as though it should be more. Brittany Spears has made more money during this 13 years of her conservatorship than she ever has. Okay, she has definitely made a lot of money. She made $100 million in Vegas alone. Why is her estate only $80 million? Does that sound, I'm not like great with math or anything, but doesn't that sound a little off? Like, yes, $80 million is a lot of money, but just off her perfume, I think she made $60 million. Something ain't right. Okay. They are definitely taking so much from this woman. Okay. It's ridiculous. But I just wanted to point that out, because that's just off. Something ain't right about that. There is no way in hell she should have only $80 million in her estate. Her dad got apparently $4 million a year, I heard. Yep, exactly. And another thing that we have to notice about Brittany Spears is that she worked her ass off even prior to her conservatorship. That's just a lot of money lost. It should be way more than that. I'm sorry. Like, to think that the people around her that are supposed to love her and protect her are literally using her and taking advantage of her and sucking her dry. Okay? A conservator. only should be paid max $20,000 a year. Exactly. They were chasing her on $60K a month for medical treatment. Right. They forced her to perform when she was sick. Yep. I mean, she could live on $80 million for the rest of her life. You're right. She could live, but it still should be more. And she worked for that money. They are stealing from her, obviously. Yes, $80 million is a lot of money, but to me, it should be more. If I do my calculations correctly, it should be way more than that. Okay. And yes, she could live on 80 million for the rest of her life, but not when she has all of these people surrounded around her sucking her dry. I can tell you that right now. Something's got to give here. But what I've noticed is a father that really wasn't in Brittany's life. Okay. He struggled with alcoholism. He wasn't really in Brittany's life that much because when Brittany became a certain age, her and her mother lived in New York. They struggled. They have several. Brittany Spears' dad and Lynn Spears, which is Brittany Spears' mom, they literally have multiple failed businesses. They struggled a lot. And to me, he hasn't really been in her life at all, even during when her career started and she blew up. And then all of a sudden, he appears out of nowhere as if he's so concerned for his daughter at her most vulnerable time in her life. It is very obvious. Do I think that in the beginning of the conservatorship, do I think that he may have had her best interest at heart? Yes, I do. I think when you watch your child, deteriorate like that and you watch so many things happen, the only reason why it's so dramatic to us is because we literally watched everything unfold right in front of our eyes, because the girl could not go anywhere without paparazzi snapping flashes in her face. You want to know why Brittany Spears' voice sounds like that? Is because they used to force her to talk in a high-pitched voice. It's like they wanted her to be a teenager forever or something. Whenever she would talk, the way Brittany Spears is talking when we just heard her is her regular voice. She has a deeper voice. It's gotten worse because she always used to talk in a high-pitched voice and force her vocal cords to be a certain way when she was getting interviews or when, she's on stage and things like that. And that's why her voice sounds like that. Stop that. For comparison, Christina Aguilera net worth is 106. Exactly. And Christina Aguilera has not worked half as, I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Christina Aguilera works hard, but Christina Aguilera, I think she just now is doing like a Vegas residency, which she said she would never do because she's above that, but whatever. Now she's doing it. But Christina Aguilera, I don't think she's had as many like endorsement perfume as Britney Spears. Britney Spears has always been a lot more popular than Christina Aguilera. Let's just be real. But that is why her voice sounds the way that it does and why she can barely sing and stuff like that. And I just think that all of a sudden he appears and all of a sudden wants to be consistent. Do I think that they had her best interest at heart in the beginning? Yes, I do. When you watch your kid go through that kind of stuff, I understand how you would want to help them. But somewhere along the line, he took advantage and got very comfortable. And my advice to him is get out there and work, bitch. Like, do something with your life, because you should not be living off of your daughter, okay? Your own daughter, you're doing this to. 13 years is way too long to be on a conservatorship, period. Okay, I'm going to open the panel, so if you guys want to come up and say anything, but one thing I am going to say is hopefully the good news is that this conservatorship will come to an end. I don't think it's going to. But, and I'm going to tell you why from the research that I've done and from the people that I've listened to, okay? from listening to attorneys talk and everything, and the things that kind of stand out to me, right? Right, Jennifer K. I am angry and disappointed with her mom for not being more of an advocate and fighting for her, for a predator behavior on her own daughter. That inclination as a mother to nurture your child never goes away. You're absolutely right, but they all got greedy. And they all got greedy. It's so hard to get out of. That's what I'm going to talk about, okay? So I know people don't want to hear this, but from the few attorneys that I've listened to, it is very, very hard to get out of a conservatorship, especially when you've been in it as long as Brittany Spears. And I think one of the things that I want to point out, and if you heard her, obviously you heard what she was saying in court. The one thing that concerns me the most with Brittany Spears and the way that she was talking, obviously she's scared. She was nervous. It broke my heart when she said, I don't even want to leave this phone call because I don't know how they're going to treat me after we get off it. So heartbreaking. But I don't like how she specifically said, probably more than twice, maybe even more than 3 times, that she does not want to be evaluated in order to get off the conservatorship. That's the main thing that she kept asking. Why should I have to get an evaluation? She did say she did research and it has been done. However, I feel like if she is in a good place, she shouldn't mind having to get an evaluation. But then there's another side. And that other side is the doctors could be paid off and they could lie and say that she's worse off than she's ever been. So she's probably scared for so many reasons to have to get one. But I also think her mentioning that so many times might have hurt her more than helped her. Only just that part when she kept saying, I don't want to get another evaluation. And I understand why she wouldn't want to. But in the same sense, that might be something that she has to do in order to get off. And if that's something that she has to do and she's fine and she could thrive without this conservatorship, then she should have no problem doing it. So, or an independent evaluation, right, Anne-Marie? That's definitely something that could be discussed. But as I'm listening to attorneys, a majority of them say that it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that she is able to thrive and handle her finances and able to, thrive in life without the help of others. And because she's been on this conservatorship for so long, it is very unlikely that she won't get out of it. There might be some things that they may change for her, but most of the attorneys that I have listened to, and I'm going to tell you, I've listened to at least 3 or 4, a majority of them, including Emily. Do you guys know who Emily is? She's an attorney. I forget her last name, but I love watching her. And she even said, most likely she won't get off of it. And it sucks, you guys. It really, really does. If she gets off of it, the good side is if she has to stay in it, maybe the conservatorship will work more in her favor and give her her wishes of what she wants to happen. But that's the bad news. Because here's something that you guys have to understand. There's a reason, and I'm looking at this from a legal aspect. I'm not an attorney. I did research as much as I possibly could for you guys. And one thing that I heard from an attorney is the judge thought that there was enough reason, obviously, to put her on this conservatorship in the first place. So when you're on a conservatorship, especially for 13 years, I wish that she would have known that she could have filed a petition sooner, but she didn't know that, so hopefully that'll work in her favor with the judge. But just because she works and pays people around her does not mean that she can thrive without people helping her, without being on this conservatorship. Does that make sense? There are a lot of people, which Britney Spears does not have any disabilities. Obviously, we just know that she's had a lot of, mental health issues, which we all do. But it's definitely times 100 when you are constantly being pictures taken everywhere you go, constantly being filmed and the world watching you. Imagine that. That's going to make your mental health 10 times worse. But if you think about anyone with disabilities or that are on conservatorships, okay, they can still work. Okay, they can still work and thrive. They just need people helping them and watching over them. So maybe the judge will keep the conservatorship of her estate and maybe let the conservatorship go, dismiss it for Brittany Spears. I hope and pray that it works out that way. But what I'm trying to convey to you guys, and hopefully I'm sure you guys are highly intelligent and you get it, but there are a lot of people on conservatorships that work and that live their life working, thriving, but they just need that help to thrive and to be able to manage their life. They need that help. They need that conservatorship. And I just feel like just because, and I think you have to look at it with your critical thinking, just because Britney Spears can work doesn't necessarily mean that she's completely 100% okay to not have a conservatorship. Does that make sense? I understand her apprehension. She has worked in the Hollywood industry and knows what money can do, and it can corrupt anyone. Right. Absolutely. Let me read some of your comments here. But the judge who deemed her incompetent was known for putting people into conservatorships. They are all corrupt. You're right. So that may be true. We don't know that for sure, though, Jennifer. That has to be proven. You know what I mean? And hopefully the judge that she talked to last week or whatever, that judge isn't corrupt. You know what I mean? But that has to be proven. I'm just looking at it through the aspect of critically thinking that we have to see things for what they are. And just because a person can work does not necessarily mean that they can thrive when they've been on a conservatorship for as long as she has. The laws need to change. Absolutely. Because even being in a conservatorship, like the conservatorship that Brittany Spears is in, obviously, I don't think that is definitely people around her needs to go to jail. When in the hell is it right? Now, you guys have to realize, too, that the judge signs off on every single thing that is done when it comes to the conservatorship. And I'm looking at this if the judge is not corrupt, okay? Judge may be corrupt, whatever. But I'm saying he has to approve these things. What in the hell gives anybody the right over her reproductive organs as a fucking woman? If she wants to stop taking birth control pills and have 50,000 kids, I'm being dramatic, but that should be her choice. When is that ever okay to have rights over a woman's choice to have a child? Like, there definitely needs to be some changes because she is being abused, mentally being tortured, because no woman should be told that they can't have a kid if they can. I'm glad that she was able to speak out and give so many people awareness over this shit, because there is no way in hell that any judge can sit there on that bench, corrupt or not, and say that this is okay. There is no way. It is the most disgusting thing. Can you imagine working your ass off and literally being told you can't go get your nails done? You can't drive in the car with your boyfriend? You can't have another kid? You can't get married? Yes, something has to give here. But we have to critically think and we have to look at it in both ways. That's why, yes, I hope and pray that the judge says, you guys are all being, hopefully she sues every single last one of you guys, because you guys are all assholes and sucked this woman and used her every which way that you could. And no one should have that kind of life, especially when you've worked your ass off and you're a millionaire and you can't even go get your nails done. You can't have another kid. You can't get married. But something to keep in mind here is the judge has to sign off on all of those things. All of those things. Hey, Tia, have you seen or talked about the fake collage put out by her camp this weekend? As Luther found them to be recycled. Hold on. I lost you. To be recycled pics they're using to make her look like she's okay and having fun this week. No, I have not heard about that, but it would not surprise me, Amanda. It wouldn't surprise me at all. If she is able to go on stage and work for as many years as she has done, her mental illness cannot be that bad. Look how many people get disability for their mental illness because they function. I agree. Talk to text. Gone bad. I guess I need to go back to typing. I'm going off the documentary I watched. The original judge who put her into the conservatorship had a case history of putting people into conservatorships. Not the current judge, different people. I'm sure that I've seen that documentary too. If she can judge on the biggest show and make decisions on other people's panels' lives, surely she can be trusted to look after herself. I would have a financial advisor that restricts her money, however, dissolve conservatorship. Basically, her civil rights are being violated. Absolutely. I agree with that. She's not in Maui. The pics posted on her IG today are from, oh, really? I heard that the Dirty Money show on Netflix did an episode on the business of conservatorship. I will have to watch it. Makes a lot of money for conservatorships and lawyers. I'm sure it does. It looks to be true. Just reading all of you guys' comment, what do you think is the worst that will happen if she takes back control of her life? I don't think anything. I mean, if she was to take back control of her life and maybe needed the conservatorship, the only thing that I can think of is that it may be hard for her to manage her money. But I don't think that this is not what I think. This is me critically thinking and giving you guys the good things that could happen, and from a legal aspect, the bad things that could happen. And just because we want her out of this conservatorship, and in every way, shape, and form, they are violating her human rights, her reproductive organs. They have literally treated her like a dog. And it's her money. She's paying for her dad to have an attorney to fight against her. Okay? Everything is her money. Imagine how that makes you feel. I'm talking about the legal aspect of it. From what I've seen that attorneys are saying, it's very unlikely for her to get out of this conservatorship. There may be a lot of things that will go Britney Spears' way with the conservatorship and things that will be ruled in her favor, but it's very unlikely that they will completely take her off of it. That's the legal aspect of it. Critically thinking, what I'm saying is that yes, she works, but working does not automatically make it working your ass off and going and traveling and being a judge on a show. That's what she does. That's her job. That's what she's been doing since she was little. That is her heart, her passion. That doesn't necessarily exclude her from needing the conservatorship, if that makes sense. After 13 years, Britney deserves to be given the opportunity to live independently. Being stuck in a conservatorship this long isn't recovery focused when she's giving no hope of getting out of it. Right. Fans broke my heart. It's heartbreaking to hear that, but this is just the attorney's aspect of what they think is going to happen. It is, you guys have to look it up and do your research and look up every single aspect of it. And that's what I did. And I listened to a lot of attorneys and their opinions. And that is what they said. The bad part about it is, you guys, it is very, very hard to get out of a conservatorship, especially when you've been on it as long as she has. We all want her not to be on the conservatorship. We all do. And I hope and pray for her sake that she is, but it's going to be hard. And that's just the reality of it. The truth hurts sometimes, but that's just the reality. She is on vacation, just not where they said she was. She was spotted by paparazzi on a balcony in Hawaii with her boyfriend. Believed they released the other ones to give her privacy away from cameras. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those pictures, but I definitely will do research on it. But let's talk about Jamie Spears for a minute here. So recently there was a petition, and I will link the petition on the comment section or whatever, so you guys can see. There has been a petition to take Jamie Lynn Spears off of Netflix. Jamie Lynn Spears is on a Netflix show called Sweet Magnolias, whatever. I always say that wrong. And everyone is petitioning for her to be fired off of that show because obviously she is one of the family members who has contributed to using her own sister for financial gain. And still to this day, Jamie Lynn Spears will say that she doesn't benefit off of Britney Spears. It doesn't help or hurt her either way as far as when it comes to money. But it has recently been proven that Jamie Lynn Spears has benefited off of Britney Spears' estate. Recently on Twitter, she said, I don't benefit off of Britney. She said she's never had to take any money from Britney Spears. She's from Zoe 101 or whatever. Never watched the stupid show, but she's from that show and she's been paying her own bills since she's been 10 years old. So she was recently caught. There are receipts that shows she has spent a lot of Britney Spears' money, her own sister. Every single time that she has been asked since the Free Britney movement has started, she has been asked, why aren't you helping your sister? Why aren't you speaking out for your sister more? Why not be at court with her by her side or be there by her side when she was speaking? She has not done anything to help her sister. And every single time that she has been asked publicly, she has always said, that has nothing to do with me. That's, with my dad and, her Lou Taylor, which is Britney Spears' business manager. Jamie Spears has done absolutely nothing to help her sister. Now, all of a sudden, yesterday, she wants to come out. And if you guys want to see that conversation, I can play it for you guys. But she basically is saying that she doesn't care if her sister goes out and moves to freaking Mexico or wherever and has 50,000 kids. Same thing I said. She wants nothing but the best for her sister. And basically, the only reason why she's speaking out is because people are on her. They want her gone because she's a fucking user and she has taken money off of her own sister and used her own sister. Never once has she spoken up for her sister until it started affecting her. Now people are sending petitions into Netflix saying that her ass needs to be fired because she's a user. She has exploited her sister. She has never stuck up for her sister. And now all of a sudden that it's affecting you, you want to get on IG or wherever the fuck you've been and try to act like you've never spent none of your sister's money. That's a damn lie because you've been caught. I have never liked Jamie Lynn Spears. She has a history of being a snobby little fucking brat, okay? Allegedly, she's ran over cats and her fans that have come up to her, she's attacked them. She has a bad history, okay? And she has never defended her sister once until now. All of a sudden, now that her sister has spoken up and said, my family has done nothing but watch me be exploited and taken advantage of and used, and her own sister has done nothing to help her bigger sister. Nothing. And if it wasn't for Brittany Spears, Jamie Lynn Spears, nobody would know who the fuck she is. She's not, I don't know. I don't think she has any talent, but I never seen her on the Zoe 101. But she's nobody. Okay? She's only somebody because of her sister. So you owe a lot to your sister, and this is how you repay her. Okay, I don't like Jamie Lynn Spears. Okay, I don't like, because I'm going to tell you what right now, there is no way that any of my family would let those type of things happen when it comes to, my brothers and their baby sister. They're going to go hard, just like I would go hard for my brothers if they needed me. And Jamie Lynn Spears has done zero. So now you want to talk. You're so pathetic, just to let you know. Not that you'll ever watch this, but you're pathetic. You should have been spoke up for your sister a long time ago. Maybe things could have turned out differently for her. So nobody's falling for your little bullshit, okay? That's, you kept quiet or whatever, but now you want to start speaking, and it's so obvious that you don't give a shit. Jamie Lynn Spears can get bent. Let someone treat my sister like this. Exactly. Oh my God, love you. Love you even more. Amen to that. Jamie Lynn is nobody and didn't work for over 10 years until the last few years, right? She's a bum, allegedly. I don't like her. You should have spoke up for your sister. Nobody has any empathy for you. And I hope your ass gets fired off of Netflix, okay? Sweet Magnolia Show. I didn't watch it. I don't know if anybody else has watched it, but I haven't, and I never will. And trust me, if Netflix gets enough pressure, they will let her go. I'll tell you that right now. They will. Did I post the link? Okay. Wait. 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 Why is that repeating like that? Okay. Hi. Hi, you guys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Take a breather, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
You were getting, I could just tell, like, you're passionate about it. Like, and that.
Well, because Jamie Lynn Spears gets on my damn nerves. Like, all this time that she had to speak out, and then all of a sudden now she wants to speak out. It's like, girl, go take several seats, sit the fuck down, shut up. Don't say nothing because you haven't said nothing the whole time. So.
Preach. You know what I was thinking about tonight? because I knew like this was going to be the topic. And you guys remember the song Lucky?
Yes.
I'm like, she tried to tell us a long time ago, like, just because, you know, she's so lucky, like, she's still crying every night. And it's kind of prolific now when you think about it. But I don't know. I just thought about that. But one thing I did notice from the from her disposition, or whatever you want to call it, conversation with the judge, is the trauma that I heard in her voice. Like, and somebody else mentioned this in the chat earlier, and I had literally written down, like, she felt as though she had to get 13 years of trauma and abuse out in 30 minutes. And it was like,
that's why she was talking fast and stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And so it really, yeah. And I agree with the others that have said earlier in the chat that, you know, if she was so mentally unstable, then she should not have been working 7 days a week, however many hours a day, and, you know, to not even have privacy, to not have a door on your bedroom door,
right?
People watching her get naked. I mean, it's fucked up. Like, we can't imagine the bullshit that she's been through. And just the fact that she's like, I just want to go on a ride in my boyfriend with it in his car.
Yeah, in his fucking car. I'm like, oh, that's okay. You go.
That's all she wants.
Right.
That's all. It's and to have a child, like you said, it's a human right. And I've seen
rights issue.
I'd be telling my boyfriend to try to take that IUD out. But on the other hand, there was actually, I remember hearing something, I don't know if it was in the documentary or what, but I remember hearing something that she had gotten pregnant in the past. And, I mean, obviously she didn't have a baby, so it leaves kind of two options, but I don't know. It's just crazy. And to say she has dementia, like, I'm sorry,
that's what they
that
said.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like that
so
kind of excuse.
She's had dementia now for 13 years, and but she can go and she can sing and perform and do all the things. She can remember the dance moves. Like, I'm sorry, that's fucking bullshit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but like, I mean, it's just,
I
don't know. There's just,
agree.
I think she should be able to hire her own attorney right now. I mean, the fact that her dad can hire anybody he wants, any team he wants, and with her money, like, that is so messed up. Like, I was thinking about this because, you know, I don't recall Brittany ever having like issues with her finances. And I was thinking, like, okay, if she only has $80 million, and I mean, I say only, even though for all of us, like, that would be like a ton of money.
It's still, she still should have more.
She should have hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, because I remember reading an article at one point talking about how she'd made like $300 million in like the last like 3 or 5 years. And so, I mean, it's just crazy to think that she supposedly only has 80 million. Like, I'd be going, okay, I want to look at my my dad's finances. Like, if she gets out of the conservatorship, I'd be going to court saying, yeah, I want to see all the fine. But of course, you know, they're going to hide stuff, and, you know, it's probably going to be really hard. But if I were her, I would ask to hire my own attorney. I would ask to hire my own doctors and therapists if she has to have an evaluation, so that she can feel like it's fair. And if her dad and other people get to choose it, I would ask that they all have to take lie detectors. I know they're not admissible in court, but I mean, it's just like, there has to be something done, so at the end, the truth really comes out. With, you know, I always felt like she was probably suffering from something like either postpartum depression or maybe bipolar, like a certain bipolar or something. Because there are some like kind of manic episodes that you'll see every now and then. And she talked about how she had been prescribed lithium, and I have a couple friends that have bipolar, and that's what they take is lithium. So I was thinking, okay, it might be, she might also.
Lithium can do a lot of damage.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If they have her on a high enough dosage, I think at first they had good intentions. to put her to put the conservatorship on. I think Jamie Lynn got a taste of like the extra good life, and he was like, oh shit, instead of the pendulum like swinging back to normal, it swung way over to the other side, and he just took complete advantage of everything and was like, oh wow, I can make a killing off of this. I can control my daughter. Like,
doesn't have a job, megabucks at all. And I will look up the meaning to the words Mona Lisa. Lynn mentioned it, and Boston asked me to look up the words. I guess there's a song that she has that was unreleased that's called Mona Lisa, and it tells everything that she's been trying to say the whole time. So I'm going to look that up real quick. And you guys keep talking. The only thing I will say is that I'm just surprised that the judge would even let her go back there. To me, because it's a human rights issue, you would think that the judge would be like, oh no, I want her taken out of that wherever she is immediately and go somewhere else. I don't know. You think that the judge
I think because nothing's been actually filed, like to get rid of the conservatorship, like it hasn't, like the actual paperwork hasn't been filed yet. And so
I know that the judge, even if papers haven't been filed, if the judge felt though as though she was in any kind of
danger,
the judge can order like, oh no, you, as far as the human rights issues and things they're telling her she can't do, you would, and especially towards the end, she's like, I'm afraid to get off the phone with you. You would think a judge would be like, okay, I want, until this whole thing is over with, I want Brittany Spears out of that situation, order her to see therapist or whatever they want her to do.
We're going to put her in protective custody or something where her parents aren't going to know. Can you imagine if that happened? That would be the coolest thing ever. If she could just like her
be more concerned because for her life, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's just, and Megabex had asked about the job thing, and yeah, her dad does not have a job. His job is like watching over the conservatorship, and then he's also acted as like, I don't know if he's her full manager now or if there's still another technical manager, but I know at one point he was like acting as like part of her manager, so he was getting a cut because he was getting like a salary every year, and then he was getting a percentage, like he was acting as like a manager, so he'd get a percentage of like things that he'd get her set up for, like the Vegas stuff. And I don't know if any of you guys saw that one of the last things in Vegas, like when she was gonna, I think it was the documentary, when she was maybe going to do like 1 more year or something, and they gave her a mic, and she's like, this feels so foreign to have a mic right now. Like I might say something wrong, or I can't remember her exact words, but
well, this is what they didn't want. They did not want her to be able to speak and tell the world her story. They avoided it, but yet they were able to go and talk and say whatever they wanted to say. But now that she was able to tell her story, you would think the judge would have been scared for her. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And take her out of that situation, at least until, the proceedings and all the filings are done, or they have trial or whatever for the conservatorship, because that's just, to be a woman and told that you can't have kids. It's the most insane thing. That was what got me the most. I was just like, are you freaking serious? Like, that is our right as women.
Also, why didn't her parents help her fight for custody of her kids? That's the other thing that I don't get. Like, I mean, I had such a big support system when I was going up against my abusive ex. And I mean, friends and my mom and siblings. And I'm like, I don't remember ever hearing anything in the news about like her parents or her sister or anybody being like, yeah, well, we're going to move in and live with Brittany, and we're going to, oh shit, there's a huge freaking, sorry. I never heard anything about like them saying anything to her about like helping her fight for custody or anything like that. It was like so silent. It was like Brittany against like the world.
Right. She was on her own, like I'm so disappointed in her mother too. And her boyfriend, I seen Boston ask about that. I don't like him. There's something about him that I don't like. I don't know what it is. He just seems very opportunist to me, just like Kevin Federline, her ex, and almost as if he's like her handler or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Something's
Who
not
knows? It could be. He could be an actor for all we know. I know that sounds psycho, but
right.
given what
He could just
everything
be
that's
there
happened,
right. He could be
he could
there
have just been
to watch
planted
her.
there.
He could be calling to tip the paparazzi of wherever she goes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It seems as though they're paying her boyfriend too. Like,
I mean, why doesn't her boyfriend go on TV or go on the radio or post something on TikTok? Or, I mean, maybe
well,
he's
he
scared you
does.
wouldn't be able to see her again, but
He's
like,
very good looking. I agree, but that's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, he is an actor. He's been on a couple TV shows. I don't know what he's been on, but he's gotten a lot of opportunities since he's been with her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it has. Well,
But something ain't right with them.
that we need to look at is that if people are prescribed improper mood stabilizers or medication for mental health, that can alone cause significant damage to somebody's psyche. It really
Yeah.
can. So, and unfortunately, she's been held hostage for basically 13 years.
Right.
And she's not, I don't know how she comes back from it. I would love to see that happen, but I don't know. After 13 years of trauma, we've seen cases with kidnappings and stuff, with Elizabeth Smart. They tend to not leave their
Yeah, it's like
abusers.
Pablo's dogs, kind of like if you beat them over and over and over again, like every time you open up, like say a dog, every time you like go to feed them or you open up the kennel and they come out or they go to eat, you beat them, they're going to stop eating. They're going to stop coming out of their house. And they're just
Right.
going to because they don't want to do anything. And I mean, you
So,
think about,
yeah. Or
So let me read these lyrics real quick for you guys. Okay, this is Mona Lisa by Brittany Spears.
Yeah.
Let me read these lyrics real quick for you guys. Okay, this is Mona Lisa by Brittany Spears. I think you got your YouTube on the background. Let me read these lyrics real quick. Okay, this is Mona Lisa by Brittany Spears. I think you got your YouTube on the background. Can you hear me, Steph? Okay, this is Mona Lisa.
Sorry.
So that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna read these. Can you hear me, Steph?
There we go.
Sorry.
It's so weird to hear myself. I sound like a little kid. Okay, let me
Come
go
back
ahead
up, Steph.
read this. Yeah, she'll come back up. Make sure you come back up, Steph. I think she probably has maybe her YouTube playing in the background and it echoes sometimes. Mine used to do that. Okay, this is a story about Mona Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a little story to tell about Mona Lisa and how she suddenly fell. Now see, everyone knew her. They knew her oh so well. Now I'm taking over to release her from her spell. Hold on, it's slow. Because it's really music, but I'm just reading the lyrics. Okay. Why is it stuck there? It's like she's singing the same thing over and over again. Okay. She's the original. She's unforgettable. She warns you to know she's been gone. It's kind of incredible. She's so unpredictable. She wants you to know because she's been gone. She's been gone. She's been gone. Oh my God. Thank you, Robin. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Beautiful. That means so much to me. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
You guys are so great. I love.
Yeah, that's so sweet, Robin.
Yeah, that was so sweet.
For your support.
What the hell is this stuck? It's just stuck. I think. Okay. She wasn't taken under, drowning in. No, she was taken under, drowning in her seat, running like an angel. She was crying and could not see. Now see, everyone's watching. As she starts to fall, they want her to break down. There will be a legend of her fall. Yeah, she's definitely saying something here. She's the original. She's unforgettable. She wants you to know. She's been gone. It's kind of incredible. So this is probably the chorus. She's so unpredictable. She wants you to know. She's been gone. She's been gone. She's been gone. This is a very interesting song. Now, ladies, does that make you cry? Mona Lisa got to fly. Nobody really does. Everyone may have a moment of silence right here. And I think that might be it. Nope, that's not it. Okay, and then it's the chorus. Well, never mind, this is not. She's the original. She's unforgettable. She wants you to know. She's been gone. It's kind of incredible. She's so unpredictable. She wants you to know that she's home, that she's home, that she's home.
It's fucking sad, man.
That's the end. So, yeah, she was definitely trying to say something in that song for sure.
And you know what, guy? I have never been one for conspiracy theories. Like, I just think they're mostly ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But when people started coming out with the TikToks of, you know, her like,
I was right there with you, Heather. Yeah. Wondering, like, is this real?
God,
Are these people freaking out for no reason? She's wearing yellow today. They told her, like, wear yellow in your next video if you're being abused, or, you know, like, just kind of, I don't know if it was actually yellow, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
was written in real tiny writing on one of her hats. I mean, just think, and who knows of that, what is real. I remember her just, anytime I saw her featured, like, for instance, they made her work out constantly. She just didn't, she looked like a space cadet. She looked like she was out of her mind on some kind of
always
medication.
Does.
And
it was probably just, like lithium, because lithium makes you like, it can make you like groggy and tired and
yes.
And she said she was on like 6 different meds or something. No, she had 6 nurses. And then I was thinking about this too, because somebody had asked, like, I wonder what med she's on. And I bet you $50 she doesn't even know. The only way that she would ever find out, and she might not even be able to find out then, is if she is able to, like, say they keep the conservatorship on, but it's just like to just kind of monitor her finances or something. Or there's something in court documents that says, like, if she has a mental breakdown within the next year, then the conservatorship will go back on. Like, maybe there's some boundaries or some parameters that can kind of be put together. So, like, if she can make it a certain period of time or whatever, then I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I just think the biggest thing is she needs to be able to hire her own freaking attorney, her own team of attorneys if she wants, and her dad needs to use his own freaking money.
And her own doctor.
How this started was when she was going on Instagram, all of her fans would tell her, like, one of her fans said, Brittany, are you okay? Or if you're in trouble, wear yellow on your next video. And the next video she would wear yellow.
Exactly.
You know, so she was giving signs, and I just feel like if it wasn't for the Free Britney movement and her fans, I don't think that this would be where it's at. I really don't.
No, man.
I honestly think she would have probably gone mentally insane. I think that's part of the reason why she is kind of where she's at now. Like, I don't want to down her or degrade her or anything, but I mean, I think we'd all be lying if we said, oh, she seems totally normal. I think what's happened has literally started to drive her almost insane. Like, I mean, it's like
she's unhappy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like people who get sent to a sane asylums, like, you know, years ago or whatever, and they would just like go psycho in there. That's what it makes me think of, and I hate saying that, but like the
shock treatments and stuff, all of that.
Yeah, just kind of how she, and like when you see videos of her eyes are always like almost, this sounds so mean, but like bug-eyed, like she's just staring, like, but like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just really sad. Like,
I'm interested to hear what you have to say, Steph.
Well, hello, everybody. I hope I'm not echoing.
No,
you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Earlier, I don't know what was going on with my audio. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. It happens to me all the time.
Well, I just wanted to point out a couple of things. I don't know if it was brought up while I was gone, but One, I just wanted to remind everybody that this is not a new concept. I don't know how familiar everybody is with, like, say, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
And some things that she suffered as a female celebrity, and Hedy Lamarr, and there's a few people, like countless women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
The model, the plus size model that passed away, she had Howard Stern was her lawyer. I can't think of her name.
Anna Nicole Smith, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And then, like what I was commenting earlier about hysteria in women and how it was a faulty medical diagnosis at the end of the 1800s, early 1900s. They used to do very barbaric things to women, such as like, putting vibrators on them, chastity belts and such. And, it to me, it's just not a new thing that a woman, no matter if she is a celebrity or not, is being controlled in these ways. But I think it's very important to also talk about, the fact that this isn't new, right?
No, it's definitely not new. She's not the first person that's happened to. I think why it's more known with Britney Spears is because of her fans.
Yeah.
And because Anna Nicole and, all the rest, social media wasn't around then. You know what I mean?
Maybe not as much. It was maybe just starting. I'm trying to remember.
No, not with Anna Nicole. Social media wasn't popular with Anna Nicole.
No, she just had the reality show, so people kind of were able to see like the rise and fall of her.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But with Britney Spears, her fans, I feel like, have a lot to do with why this is so public, and so many people are talking about it. But this is definitely something that has been going on for decades with women.
It almost reminds me, and this is kind of crazy, but it almost reminds me of Handmaid's Tale in a way. Parts of it, like you're being told when you can have a baby, or it's against your will, or you can't.
I don't know what that is.
It's just a really good show on Hulu. Kind of like it's Elizabeth Moss is in it. It's so good. It's such a good show. But the women are basically just used to breed like, dogs basically. And but it's just a matter of they don't have the rights. And this is in a world, that's like futuristic, and I don't want to say futuristic, but modern world. But it's just wild. And like you said, Tia, earlier, the men that have gone through these issues,
have not gone. They don't lose their estate. It just shows you how misogynistic.
Yeah, exactly. And you think all the albums she had that were number one and spent number one at the top of the charts for for however long each album, and it's just unbelievable the amount of money that she has left. I mean, we think like, 80 million, like God.
Yeah, that's why there's no way that it's only 80 million. I have a really bad feeling that somebody has just done something like really, really shady, and they're doing everything they can to keep her in the conservatorship, and they're hiding money and they're paying people off, and they're using Britney's money to do it. And
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tia.
No, go ahead, Steph.
Also, I just wanted to say something. You just brought up Handmaid's Tale. And I don't know how many are familiar with it, but it's a story that was written by Margaret Atwood. And Margaret Atwood, wrote this story based on a real life religion. And I don't know if you women on panel and people in chat are aware that this story that was written about this religion is actually a real religion that is followed by our current Supreme Court Justice, new addition, Amy Coney Barrett. So I don't know if you guys remember whenever Amy Coney Barrett became a member of the Supreme Court Justice right before the last election.
Right.
People were talking about sort of her values about this, but sort of like an interesting weaving about it. But these things are real. I think with like Brittany and talking about like Handmaid's Tale and stuff, it's a good sort of juxtaposition to talk about, because these things do happen, and they happen at a legal level. There are several conservatorships that are a problem. There are whole documentaries about this.
Yes.
That are a complete problem.
Mm-hmm.
So with the legal system and seeing like even our own Supreme Court justices, you know, that follow these sort of things, this is real life. I mean, Tia, you said you didn't see the show. It's a pretty brutal show.
I'll start watching it.
This is a real religion that was written about.
I will definitely watch it because I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Oh, girl.
It's pretty deep. It's a great show, but it's hard to watch.
Yeah, there are parts that are certainly hard to watch, but it's also not that far-fetched that this could happen. And that's what's
my
terrifying to me.
Whole thing of Brittany Spears goes way deeper than what's going on with her, though. I really do believe that there are certain aspects that she is a part of MK Ultra, and I actually believe she was one of the first. We will do a video about it, but you would have to be a conspiracy theorist to see it the way that I do, because I believe in that kind of stuff, and I do believe that it rules Hollywood in a lot of ways.
Well, it does, and especially legally.
Yeah.
I like I said before on your panel, it's very important that everyone look into who they're voting for and paying attention to these things, especially these Supreme Court justices that rule until they die. You know,
Right.
It's not 4 years, it's not 2 years. It's until they die.
And it's the more people think that your vote doesn't count, which is what they want us to believe, things will never change. And that's just the reality of it. Just like some of you guys, you know, I understand that it's hard to hear, but you guys have to look it up and do your research. It really is hard to get out of a conservatorship. It really is. It's very rare.
Yeah. I think that especially because it's been like 13 years and now they're they're gonna use everything. They're gonna bring all the doctors in, the therapists in, the medications in. They're gonna probably talk about finances. They're gonna say she's been on for 13 years. She's 40 years old now. But I mean, I'm sorry, but if there's one thing I think she can push, it's that freaking dementia. And maybe I'm a little more angry because my mom was, just diagnosed with dementia. So I know exactly what it looks like. And I've seen what's happened just in the last 8 months with my mom. So to think of somebody supposedly having early onset of dementia 13 years ago, sorry, she would not have been able to do what she has done with
dementia.
Early onset dementia, because that's what my mom was diagnosed with, and she's on 2 medications, and sometimes she'll be driving and she just forgets where she's going. No way. Yeah, I mean, there's just no way that I just don't believe it.
I don't even know how they said it.
I didn't even think it was true, and I actually Googled it, and I saw a bunch of articles about it. Even recently, from April of 2021 this year, about her dad saying yeah, she has early onset of dementia.
Well, I just wish there was a group of people that could be okay, they want to have her in a conservatorship. Okay, fine, but guess what? Guess who doesn't get to be in charge of it? Exactly. No family, somebody that's unbiased, and somebody that doesn't make a shit ton of money off of it.
Yep.
Because I guarantee if that was the case and tons of money wasn't exchanging palms, that it wouldn't be it wouldn't be worthwhile to them, you
Well,
know,
they
to
didn't
have.
play it towards all the way towards the end, but as soon as Britney Spears was done and her attorney was done talking, then Jamie, her father, a lot of Jamies in that family, her father attorney spoke on his behalf, and she said, Your Honor, there's a lot of concerns here, like basically saying her mental health, they are very, very concerned if she was to ever get taken off the conservatorship. So I will say he's gonna fight it.
Oh yeah. And if I were Brittany and I could hire my own attorney, I would just try to push for like, hey, Your Honor, how can we do this? Can we, like, I know everybody's saying this and that and the other, but like, can we just set up a game plan where like, just give me a year to prove this. And if I have a mental breakdown or, you know, whatever it might be, like, you know, then we'll put on certain steps, you know, protections or whatever. But like, you know, I think
like
at the
a
end of it,
guardianship.
yes,
Right.
more of a guardianship and less of an actual conservatorship.
And I just really wanted to nail this in. It's been 13 years,
Right?
I really want everybody to think about that. Everything that they have experienced for the last.
It's been a third
years.
of her life. She's 39 years old.
Let that
You guys take over for a second, and I'm gonna go warm up my coffee. So go ahead and continue.
I think about like when it, like, okay, so let's just say she hadn't gone under a conservatorship. Let's say they actually put her in like a real treatment facility, like a decent one where they actually want you to get better and they thrive on having people heal and be the best they can be.
Yeah.
I don't think she would be where she is right now. I honestly feel like she is where she is because of the conservatorship and because of the fact that they've actually, like, her dad has just thrived on this and become so freaking money hungry and about control and power and, you know, all that greed stuff that
well, I mean, I completely agree, but also I think a very important part of the conversation would be how many people are actually involved in this and helping her family and father do these things. These things require a setup.
Oh,
they
I guarantee it.
require planning. They
Tons of
require
people.
conversations. They require scheming. And this is a huge problem. You know what I mean? It's all malicious intent and conspiring. You don't just suddenly find several people to be involved in such a thing. I mean, this is pretty salacious, right? So you don't just find all of these people and family members, like your whole family, and like psychiatrists and doctors and chefs and like whoever to be involved in this. There's a huge thing. Brittany has said herself that she cannot wait to write a book and talk about some things.
Yeah, she wants to be able to tell her story.
Exactly. And there's so many things that we don't even know, because if you're going to just create something as magnanimous as this, I mean, the scheming.
Can you imagine if she was able to create, like, okay, so she's not allowed to hire her own attorney. She has to get like a pro bono one, right? But can you imagine if she could hire, like, if a bunch of big wig attorneys say like, oh, what's her face?
Yeah, Robin said Gloria Allred, and I was thinking the same thing.
Allred.
Like, she's a boss.
And like say
she
got like 4 or 5 like just super boss attorneys like her, and I'm totally drawing a blank right now because there's this giant moth like not very far
I
from
just
me.
don't know the legality of, you know, I need to excuse me, I need to look more into conservatorships, but I don't know the legality of her being able to hire her own lawyers, because didn't she just say even
No, she
in this
can't.
position? Yeah, exactly. Where she was like, I can't even hire people I want, and
She can't spend money for it. That's the issue.
exactly. I mean, the feeling of being so powerless over that. I mean,
Right.
even your own autonomy, your name, your brand, your body, all of these things, and you can't even hire a lawyer.
You can't drive a car. You can't make your own medical decisions. You can't post on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, IG, whatever. It has to all be monitored and checked and everything before it gets posted. You can't take trips when you want. You can't buy what you want. You can't leave the house when you want. You have to take every single med they push into your body. Like, I mean, it's like, this is insane if you think about it.
Yeah, and I just saw this comment in the comment section. Buttercup said, I'm sorry for saying this, but I think she will end up taking her own life to be free.
No, I said that earlier.
I actually disagree. I think that you never know with people where they are with themselves in that manner. You know what I mean? You just never know. Okay, so I definitely hope not. But I think she's stronger than so many people, including myself, ever gave her credit for. I was never a fan of her. Not that I hated her or anything like that, but like it's not my kind of music personally.
Right.
And I kind of like probably back in the day said some negative shit about her. And I have to tell you, I felt really bad about that. But I think dealing with this for 13 years, and then knowing that she was going to be recorded, or that tape was going to be leaked where she was talking to the judge, and everything she's been dealing with.
Well, she knew it was going to be released.
She's stronger than we give her credit for. And I think that that's actually part of the root of the problem with how we have dealt with Brittany and our view on Brittany for so many years. None of us gave her credit. I'm sorry. Well, I won't say none of us. I'm sorry. Like, some of us never gave her credit whatsoever. So I don't think so, but I don't know her personally.
I just worry that if things stay like they are now and they don't get better at all, and they either stay the same or God forbid they get worse, that's what I worry about, because somebody can really only handle so much. I mean, think about it. Like, she doesn't have her boys. She only gets visitation with her boys, and I'm pretty sure it's supervised. And I've heard even with that, it was because I can't remember. I think her ex had a restraining order against the dad, her dad, Brittany's dad.
Yeah, I heard about that at one point.
Because he's violent.
Yeah, and so by doing that, it made her not get to see her kids even.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep,
so fucked up.
And aren't you guys like so proud of her? I mean, just as a person, but also as a woman, like I really am. And when I saw like some things starting to happen that I didn't even notice in the past, like, the little New York Post documentary and then all of the court proceedings and everything. I mean, that's strong. That is strength. And that is to be commended. And I personally have a lot of hope in this situation. I think she's fighting monsters for sure. But I have hope.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, who did she, I think she had to have told somebody who leaked the stuff for the docuseries, because I think that's really too what got the ball rolling, was that coming out. So somebody, she had to have said something to like a friend or, something like that. I mean,
she's smart. That she will ever perform again?
Yes, I do, but I think it's once the conservatorship is over. If you guys follow her on Instagram, all she does is post videos of her dancing, right? It's what she does. She will say she loves to perform. She will say she can't wait to do this again, but that she will not do it while she's under conservatorship.
While she's being forced.
They're taking the money.
Right. Yep. Like, why would you want to do that if they're taking the money? You're working and handing over your money to somebody else.
That is so smart.
That's hard work.
Yes, but she is smarter. Like, even if it's taking her so long, because she is, like I said, fighting monsters, giant ones, right? And it's taking her a while, and it sucks. But I really do think that there is going to be like the greatest comeback ever here. I really
so. I'm praying. And Christina, the reason why her sister and her mom haven't done anything is because they're benefiting off of it too.
Yeah, that's why they just remain quiet and step back. Like, I got really ticked off with the video her sister put out in the last 24 hours. Like, I did not think she was sincere. I'm sorry. I thought she seemed like a bitch, and she just, I don't know.
it made me angry because I'm like, you don't care. You're saying like, oh, I just want the best for her. Just want her to be happy or whatever BS she said. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't want your gravy train to go away.
I
You
think
shouldn't even be talking.
is the
I'm going to
best
play
part.
devil's advocate though for a second. It is
I think,
possible.
hold on though, but I think what the best part is that her on Twitter saying she has never gotten any money from the Brittany Spears estate, her sister's estate, when it turns to find out she's gotten a lot of money from Brittany Spears estate.
It's
Meaning
so
she's charging money like to go on flights and private jets and stuff like that. She's full of crap.
Oh, that's probably why she was
ever.
in such a bitter mood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I know people have differing opinions on cancel culture or whatever, but if anyone was ever to be canceled, it's Jamie Lynn Spears.
She's the main one.
She needs a hashtag fire Jamie Lynn.
Right?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'm going to post the petition on this in the description after this live because there is a petition to get her off Netflix. So
yeah, I'll sign it.
But what if, and I'm not saying I'm a fan of Jamie Lynn either, but what I would be scared shitless to speak out on anything if my dad was holding my sister hostage.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the case.
I wouldn't. I would literally, I mean, this is just me. I know everybody's different. I do understand that. But me, if that were my sister, I have a little sister. If that were my sister, I would just, let's just say I would go to jail.
yeah.
That's just
Jamie Lynn Spears has very much always been very outspoken, except for her sister. So
yeah, think about it. She was like the black sheep. I mean, she got pregnant when she was younger. Like, you know, it was like this Christian family, and now all of a sudden, like Brittany's little sister is gonna have a baby, and like, you know, it was like a big deal. And
well, she's really close to the woman who started this all, which is Lou Taylor, and that's Brittany Spears' manager. She's very close to her. So I really just feel like she could have spoke if she wanted to.
Also, can we just say, I don't know, again, if you follow Instagram, her Instagram, Brittany's, but
I do.
There's been, well, then have you heard about like all the speculation if she's actually posting or not?
Yeah.
Well, also on top of that, I don't know if you guys saw, but everybody was highlighting all the messages that Jamie Lynn Spears would leave her.
Yeah.
And when you think about this situation, you go back and you read them, it's real creepy.
Well, and why would you be leaving? I don't know. Like, like my family members, they might message on occasion, like when I used to have Facebook or whatever, but usually my family members would like message me directly. I don't know, just kind of weird, almost like it's the only way for her, or she's trying to prove something in public. Like, I don't know.
I hope and pray, like I said, that this stops, because to me it's dangerous. It's very dangerous for her. I cannot believe, in my opinion, that she wasn't like ordered to get away from them. But ultimately, I just have to look at it from the other aspect too, and from the other angle, and just from what attorneys say, it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
They do say that. And that's just me doing research from the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because and it's also, you got to think about it. It's her by herself against, like, probably, I mean, realistically, we're probably talking 40, 50 people when you think of all the different doctors she's had therapists, whether it's dance instructors, choreographers, like, different, I mean, so many different people that her dad could potentially blackmail.
Right. And I think that's what's been going on all along. So that's why I hope that towards the end, after Jamie Spears, her father's attorney, spoke for him, then her mother's attorney spoke for her. And her mother's attorney was actually fighting for Brittany as well. So now you want to fight for her, Lynn Spears. But anyway, he said Brittany has asked for her own attorney from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they didn't let it happen. And just like her mother's attorney said, something needs to be done here. If she wants her own attorney, she wasn't listened to the first time. We need to really listen to her the second.
I mean, what's the point? Why not let her have her own attorney? And maybe you say, okay, you can have your own attorney, but your cap is going to be $300,000. I mean, I know that's not much money at all for something like this. So say like you can choose who you want, but this is the max you can spend. And then she tries to get the best one she can, like, you know, take this and then the rest would be pro bono or whatever. Like she just, I don't know. She just deserves to have like a power team of attorneys right now. I really wish that like a bunch of attorneys would come together.
I'm willing to bet that there is any attorney in the world at this moment that would actually do it pro bono. So that makes me think that there's some other legality thing that we don't know with the ties of the conservatorship, because I just don't believe that with everything that's going on.
You think they couldn't do it pro bono or what?
No, I think like people would offer to do it pro bono, but I don't know if there's some like legal, I just don't know how conservatorships work, or with the one that she has. So like, say she doesn't have autonomy over anything right now, right? So
right.
I mean, they probably are conducting what kind of lawyer she can get, if she can get a lawyer, if they have to use their lawyer. I mean, I don't know how that goes.
It had to be authorized. It had to be cleared through the courts.
Yeah, but I don't believe that like Gloria Allred or anybody wouldn't just do it for free.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she needs a badass attorney.
Mm-hmm. Well, give her like 4 or 5 and just have them all tag team together.
And Gloria, you took the words right out of my mouth, Steph. Gloria, however say her last name. She is a shark. I mean,
the bad man.
But
she has helped so many women. Just her cases, if anybody is not familiar with her actual cases, she's very pivotal.
Black China.
Yeah. She's just completely pivotal.
Wasn't she the attorney for the gymnastics, the girls that they were like all abused by what's his face?
Exactly. I also believe some of the women who accused Bill Cosby, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. She's been about it.
She's a force.
Yeah, she is about that.
You always see like whenever there's going to be like an interview or something on the news and you see somebody sitting with her, you're like, oh shit, the other person's in big trouble.
They fucked.
I wish I could have her as my attorney for my ex, but she rocks.
Yeah.
She gets on my nerves sometimes, but ultimately, you know, if you want to talk about girl power, she's definitely somebody that is on the top of my list. You know what I mean?
Hey, maybe people need to start, you know what if, I mean, I know this sounds crazy. We're just like, you know, just a small group of girls. Maybe there's some boys, no offense to you guys in the chat, but what if we started like if we figured something out and we just started like a hashtag thing on Twitter or whatever, all like Gloria Allred, save Brittany or something, you know what I mean? Like just something that could get out there and get passed around.
If she's getting her own attorney, I wouldn't doubt that she has her in mind. I really wouldn't.
And also, if I can just add to that, I think that's great. It's a great sentiment. I think social media is very pivotal in very many aspects, but also I just want to see action. So when I see these people outside of the courtroom that are actually advocating for her and, you know, spending time to sending her encouraging messages and things like this, I think these things are more important, you know?
Yeah.
You have to be active. We have to be active. We as women, we'll say in this particular situation, we have to have each other's back. Right. Because if it can happen to her, it can happen to you. Don't forget. Don't think that you are any different. You're not.
Nobody is, because with somebody who's literally a multimillionaire and this is happening to her, and like I said, and why I was talking about all of the things that she's been through, and that's not even half of what she's been through. Of all of the things that she's been through, what needs to be understood is this is all in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Everything that she's done.
You know what I mean? About that though, Tia, like with other celebrities, I can't think of what she did that was so out of character I mean, as far as we've seen Lindsay Lohan, we've seen Paris Hilton be a hot
Right.
mess.
I think she was just the first one to do it really big. And then everybody that followed it wasn't as big of a deal because Brittany had already done it.
Yeah, but same thing with Smiley. Like we've seen her kind of like snap a little bit, and
well, because things were done to them too. I mean, you guys see what's happening with Amanda Bynes right now.
Amanda Bynes
you
is
guys,
in a conservatorship, isn't
you
she?
guys heard about what happened with Paris Hilton and how they sent her to that school, right?
Yep.
Right.
So again, these are more situations of what's happening out here, and it doesn't matter.
it's not
who
okay.
you are.
Right. Yeah, Amanda Bynes to me,
I can't
think she
think of
was
her.
worse than Britney Spears, to be honest with you. Like she really, I mean, you have to look at, it starts with all these child stars, you guys.
Yep. And you got to wonder what is triggering it.
Yeah, they go through so much. People have no idea.
Even Drew Barrymore spoke out on this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was another one.
She's another one that's had it hard.
Soleil Moon Frye. Did you guys just see this?
Oh, I did. I loved it.
Documentary on Hulu. I forget what it's called, like 90 something. It like I
90s
cried the whole time, where she was talking about things that she was exposed to.
Yeah, they're exposed.
Yes, I loved Punk Brewster.
Me too. And her little flip back like trailer bed thing.
Oh man.
It's
Do you
really,
remember the
really
episode
sad.
where her friend got locked in the freezer? For some
No, I just
reason,
remember where they had like their clubhouse and they mixed together like this really nasty drink with like raw eggs and like they like had to drink it and stuff.
And it's been going on, like even Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
She went through so much.
Liza Minnelli, her mother.
Yeah, Judy Garland.
Garland. Excuse me, Judy Garland. Exactly.
It literally doesn't stop. It's endless. Shia LaBeouf, he has a crazy story. Corey Feldman.
Yeah. Corey Haim.
Corey Hames. Like the list goes on and on.
Macaulay Culkin.
Oh
yeah.
It all Michael Jackson. Let's be real here. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, he had body dysmorphia.
Yes.
He was dealing with the press and everything.
And then like Robin Williams, but unfortunately like he took his life. But like he was super depressed and like
and nobody ever knew it either.
Yep, not until the very end.
Sad, but I'm saying it really starts with these child stars. If you go deep into the rabbit hole of, it's the most insane behavior that you will ever see with these child stars.
Do you remember the child star? I think it was the movie Ladybugs. It was like a soccer movie. There was like I remember I always thought he was so cute growing up.
Oh, I know, Rodney
blue eyes.
Rodney Dangerfield.
You may be talking about Jonathan Davis.
Yes,
I think that's
Wasn't
I'm not.
He on Growing Pain? No.
He unalived himself.
Yeah. When he was young, I mean, he was pretty young.
Yeah, Jonathan Brandis, sorry, that's his name. He also went through that. I mean, this is just it's nothing new. But also I would just want to say, and this is, when I talk about on my channel too, is people can talk about these days when they say, oh, people are being too sensitive and people are being snowflakes and people are calling out stuff. But then what happens is when these famous people get caught for everything they did, everybody always wants to say, oh, well, why didn't anybody say anything? Why didn't we just notice? How did it get this far? We never noticed, when the whole time these people were warning us.
Right.
Yeah.
They were always, think about Corey Feldman, right? People wanted to talk about him, talk about how crazy he was and all this stuff. And he was a different person. He was just a different soul.
Yep.
But he's been warning us about these
a long time
in Hollywood. Even like with Harvey Weinstein. How many women came out? Rose McGowan and all these women that came out against him and said what happened to them. And look what happened to them.
Right.
I always wondered about.
I don't believe in that whole snowflake culture or whatever.
It's just a way to demean and make him weak.
Right.
I always wondered about like Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, because
Oh my
one
God,
of them
them
always
too.
seemed like just a little like harder than the other, if that makes sense. Like, so I always wondered if something had happened to them, or maybe just one of them, and like
No, something happened to them both. Like Mary Kate Olsen said that she would not wish what she went through as a child on anyone.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't blame her if you think about how young she was when she started acting, and then it was just like more and more and more, and now you're a little older, so you're going to do more, and you're going to do a clothing line, and you're going to do, kids makeup, trinkets.
Even the actress that played Stephanie in Full House, her name's Jodie something. I can't remember her last name.
Yeah, Jodie
Sweetin. Yeah, she got into drugs and became a meth addict and all kinds of stuff. And I follow her now. She's great.
And
she's
I think
such a cool woman, but she'll tell you about like what it did to her too.
Yeah.
Like the one who played DJ Tanner too, I think she went through like an eating disorder, if I recall.
Yeah, that was Tracy Gold from Growing Pains.
Yeah.
She went through, I think the other one may have too, but I know Tracy Gold from Growing Pains also had a very, very hard.
Yeah, I think
I remember that one too. There was one where is it her name Candace?
Candace Cameron. She's Kirk Cameron's
sister. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was not that long ago. It was she came out after.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, what I recall is the gal from Growing Pains. She talked about it first, like she was like one of the first like people that I really remember talking about that. And Candace came out like, I don't know, I want to say like in the last 10 years, but it might have been like maybe a little bit more than that, because time just flies when you get older. But
yeah. What were you saying, Steph?
No, I was just saying Kirk Cameron, her brother.
Oh, he's a Christian.
I don't want to offend anyone. I don't know.
I just watched stuff about that. I
have to give like a preface to what I say.
Well, he's one of a Christian that bashes gay people really, really bad.
It's like a cult. It's not even.
Yeah.
Like, I think people get confused with actual Christians and
finger pointers,
cult sort of religion.
Right.
There's a complete difference. This man, he hosted large parties at the beginning of COVID, okay? And mocking COVID.
Yeah.
And people that attended his parties got very, very, very sick, okay? He does these crazy things.
He's just
and I'm not a fan of his sister who played DJ either, Candace Cameron Bure. I'm not a fan of her either, but that's just me.
Me neither.
She was on The View.
Yeah,
and she said a lot of very
awful,
not good things about gay.
She's in the same religion that he is, though. They're both super.
Yeah, they're very conservative, and there's nothing wrong with being conservative.
People.
Yeah, I would say it like that. Ultimately, child stars, they need to be more protected. The laws need to change for real, because parents need to better do something where they are protecting their children a lot more, because the things that child stars are exposed to is so demeaning and so disgusting, perverted. It's hard. It's hard out there, and I just feel like there needs to be stronger laws. Like,
I think I'm hoping with what's happened lately, with all the stuff that's come out with the stars, and then you've got like the athletes, like with what happened with I'm totally drawing a blank on the coach, but the one that literally is like going to be in prison now for the rest of his life. He got like 250 years or something like that. But I think in a way that's going to, I feel like hopefully that will make things better, because more and more people have talked about things, and they don't have to worry about.
Brittany Murphy's another one too.
Also,
I'm like looking up.
Yeah, Brittany Murphy for sure. Also, I just wanted to point out too, I think we need to relook our child labor laws.
Yep.
Now, I'm not an expert on these laws, but from what I know, if you think about history and, outside of America, there's still, child work camps and stuff like that. But if you think about the history of child labor laws and stuff like that, how is it that somebody can have their child
work like 16 hours a day,
work all of these hours, force them into the public? I mean, I don't know, maybe that's an interesting conversation, because how can you have some movies and shows without kids,
Right.
But where's
yeah,
the
there
line?
is some sort of I
Where's
brought
the
this
line?
up to somebody, and there is some sort of a law. I don't know if it's nationwide or if it's statewide, but I do remember when I brought this up to somebody, there is something, I don't know, I can't remember where it is or what it's called, but there is definitely something out there that
Yeah. Well, obviously we're not doing something right.
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 Yeah.
If you have all of
The
these
laws aren't working,
if
whatever they
you-
are.
Exactly. And if you have all of these laws that have come about because of our past, but they're still not working for our society and children in these industries, what do we do now? Because we can't remain stagnant, right? We can't stop and say this is working for us. It's not.
Right.
And look at a lot of these vlogging channels. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
yeah, yep.
Those children work.
I agree. I have issues with the
Yeah.
Right.
children.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to do a video.
And they don't get to
Let's
choose.
do a video.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do a video about it.
That's so funny, Tia, because last night I was like trying to think of like show topics, and that was one of them. With as far as addictions go, I know we've talked about alcoholism and drug out.
Mental health will definitely be doing soon, and tomorrow is going to be paranormal activity.
Oh, girl, you don't even want to get me started.
So if you guys
I'm going
have
to
any
call my mom and
stories,
ask her about her story. She has like a crazy story from when we lived in the country. And she's like,
I want to discuss the new movie, The Devil Made Me Do It.
oh, yeah.
Not in depth with it, but like Annabelle,
You
that's
guys-
actually based on a true story too.
Do you guys believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You do?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm the cheese stands alone. I don't believe in ghosts.
I see. Here's the thing. I had mixed feelings until I definitely believe in like spirits as well, because after my dad died, like I just had way too many crazy things happen.
Now you're gonna see one, Steph. Watch.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so.
When you don't want to see a ghost,
Can I say, like, on a lighter note, why is it that ghosts aren't ever doing anything helpful or cool? You know what I'm saying? Like they're always just trying to scare you and knock some shit over and open a cabinet. I think that's so weak. I think that's so weak. If
I think
were
it depends
a
on the
ghost or a
story.
spirit, if I was a spirit, I would play into that hilarity 100%. I just don't understand why ghost equals scariness. Because if you think about all the people that have ever died in the world, right? We don't know the number. I don't know how many human beings have lived and died, right?
mm-hmm.
And you're trying to tell me that
Chris
there
Farley's
aren't
ghosts wouldn't be
ghosts
funny.
everywhere. That there just aren't ghosts everywhere because so many people have died, right? And then on top of that, the ghosts that are there are just annoying and like open my cabinet.
Well,
I don't think so. Why don't you do something helpful? Start the coffee pot for me.
Right.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Sorry.
But you say that, then you're gonna see one day.
Well, I hope so. Bring it on.
what about the UFOs? Are you guys getting into that? I am loving all these U.S. government officials coming forward like, yep, UFOs is real.
I do believe in UFOs. Yes, I do.
I do it.
Well, I believe in aliens. I think actually when you talk about beings on some other planet or whatever in some other solar system besides ours, if we think that we are the only living beings out of the whole universe, we
Yeah.
are so arrogant.
Exactly.
I just think that that's a completely arrogant thought.
I agree. I believe in time traveler. I believe in all that shit.
Well, just like the fact. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. That's a different subject. But to think that nothing living lives on any other rock or planet
Except
or
us.
whatever it is outside of the universe, I think that's so arrogant of us. Of course, there's something else. We're not the only ones. Stop. There's something else.
We'll end up with that too, and you'll be pretty convinced because
I want to hear about time travelers, though. You believe in that? That's cool.
I do.
I want to learn.
I don't necessarily believe that a lot of these ones on YouTube, but I do believe that there are different dimensions, and we'll get into it. I'm gonna post your link stuff. This is Stuff's channel. Everybody go subscribe.
More than 24 hours.
Yeah, you're the best.
You're welcome.
Prepare for paranormal. You know, I used to be a paranormal investigator, right, Tia?
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's crazy.
That being said, I only had one experience that could not be debunked, and I'll tell you about it. But
save it.
Yeah, there's just
Save it
too
for
much.
tomorrow.
Like, I can't have it ready by tomorrow. All my info.
Well, whenever, but
all right.
I'm just saying I have a story, and I probably will freak everybody out. But
oh yeah, the Mandela effect. That
is. I want to know more about that because, and I want to talk about that.
You know what? Like it is like you associate Mr. Peanut having what was on his face.
What?
Or
wait, what? You just lost me. You talking about like Mr. Peanut with the cane and the top hat and the glasses?
Yes.
Oh.
So there's things, the Mandela effect is basically a common memory that we all have. Say, for instance, there's one with Mr. Peanut, and I think it's about him wearing a monocle, or maybe it's Mr. Monopoly, because there's a couple, there's so many different Mandela effects, but where we all remember it a different way that it never was. But that's how a majority of people might, for instance, let's say the Monopoly man had glasses. Well, never in history has he had glasses.
Yeah, no, he didn't have. Yeah, I remember that part.
So something.
For example, everybody thinks they remember Nelson Mandela passing way before he actually did. Everybody thinks that he passed away in prison, but he actually didn't.
Right. Interesting.
Don't worry, we're gonna do because I'm gonna email Steph and see which what one she wants to do together. But the Mandela effect is a very interesting topic that we can do. I don't know if you guys are into all those kind of things, but I am.
Me too, totally. And
yeah, you just let me know the topic, and I'd love to do a video with you. I'd be honored.
Can she drop her channel in the comments too?
I put it in the comments. Yep.
Oh,
I'll
good.
Put it in there. I'll put it in there again. Hold on.
There's been so much UFO stuff, though. It's crazy. Like,
yeah,
every other day, my mom will text me and she'll go, "Turn on channel 13. There's a UFC." Like just tonight at 8:04, she texted me, "Turn on channel 13. There's a UFO video." And Saturday, she texted me, "Channel 13. There's another UFO video. There's a whole bunch of them on tonight." Like, yeah,
I believe in it.
Even with her dementia, she still remembers like anytime I ask her about the UFO thing, she talks about it. And
what do you guys think about Area 54?
51?
Yeah.
51, my bad.
Oh yeah, there's shit. For sure.
What about what the hell do you call that? 9/11.
Oh, boy, that's a whole fucking, that's a bunch of other conspiracy theories. And
Yeah.
I haven't looked into that enough, so I wouldn't know what to say. All I can say to that is I flew into LAX the day before it happened, and yeah, I wasn't flying back home.
People said that it was an inside job.
Yeah,
from our government, and to just so we could go to war, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many supernatural things that happen in this world and that, we just can't explain. And it's really fascinating to me.
Area 51. That's a good topic too. So,
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about the concept that maybe there's some things that we shouldn't know?
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a channel. I don't know if any of you guys ever watch any of the like the YouTubers that do like behavior panels and stuff. Like there's one called the Behavior Panel, and there's like 4 guys on there, and they'll go over like say there might be like a Dr. Phil interview, or maybe there's like an interview of like a couple that their child is missing, or maybe there's like somebody who committed a crime or something like that. And they just did one on a lot of like they used Obama. They used an interview with Obama, an interview with Trump, an interview with Bush, an interview with one like some sort of a government official, like a military person, I think. And they kind of like they broke down what each person said, and it was so weird because they kind of all said the same scripted thing at different times.
That would definitely make sense.
Well, and like Steph was saying, things that we shouldn't know. I mean, if we knew that there were,
aliens walking among us.
Yeah, or what kind of hysteria that might cause,
Yeah.
So
anyway, it's weird too. You're talking about all the UFO.
I feel bad. I feel like Austin might want to come up here.
The masses are scary and dangerous.
The what?
The masses. So you also have to think about government stuff, right? So I've seen videos of people trying to drive onto Area 51 and them like being shot at, being arrested, turned back. So I'm more interested in not actually what's going on, but government rule, because I have issues with government like that. Yeah. I'm more interested in that concept, right? So
that they're the government, they work for us kind of thing.
Well, the thing is that if there is aliens, right, and Area 51 and has aliens or whatever it is, I think that the world should know, right? That's not just government knowledge.
Well, if you think if we have our own, I'm sure there's other places that have the other countries that have their own like special place,
Yeah, man. F the man. It's all our knowledge. Nobody is more important than you. Nobody is more important than me. Sorry, I don't believe that. I don't think the Queen, the President, Mahatma Gandhi, whatever.
I don't believe in that stuff.
It is better than me, or like not better than me, more important than me, right? They may be better character than me, but they're not more important to me in the grand scheme of our world. This is our world, all of ours.
Yeah.
And just like, the Queen, the King, and Princess, and Kate, and all them, I just don't believe in that stuff. I just don't. Like
about the what?
The King and Kate,
like the royal family.
What you're saying is like hierarchy.
Yeah, I don't believe in
hierarchy, and I'm against that as well. There's not like the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, the serfs and all of this stuff. That's all man-made construct for control.
Yeah,
and that is a problem.
All they do is suck everyone dry just so they can be royalty. I just don't believe in it. You're never going to see me be like, oh my God, bow down to the no. That's never going to happen.
But like, think how our world would be if we spread all the wealth that our world has between everybody. Do you guys like weird movies?
That would be called universal health care.
Right?
Yeah.
Or socialism, and they're against that.
Yeah. But I mean, me neither.
Not either.
If everybody just had what everybody else had, could you imagine like how level that would make the playing field? There wouldn't be classes or different schools that didn't have the same funding. Everybody, and I'm not saying that people wouldn't like be able to pursue their dreams, but I try to think that people, doctors make a lot of fucking money. Okay.
To me,
but
in my personal opinion, a teacher should make
Yes.
more than a doctor. And my
Exactly. I
And
totally agree
yes.
with you, because it comes down to like,
Or at
because
least
there are a
as
lot of people that work really hard, and there's the people
Yeah.
that don't work hard because they just don't want to work hard. So like,
Right. I feel like
Right.
teachers would be way better if they made. I just believe that they should make way more much more money than what they do.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, also, I wanted to point out that competition is a man-made thing.
Yes.
Yep.
And people like to say that money is the root of all evil. I don't believe that. I believe power is the root of all evil, because power in the wrong hands can use money. Power
Right.
in the wrong hands can use religion. Power in the wrong hands can use sexuality. I mean,
Yep.
think about it. Every root problem that we have is controlled by a construct, a power construct, be it a racist construct, a homophobic construct, anti-woman construct, patriarchy, all of these things, right?
Yeah.
It is all power. And then they use money, that's their like literal currency, to use on top of that.
Yep.
Right.
So that's very powerful. So when you think about it as power being the root of all evil, how do you overcome the most powerful? And that's why things are so hard, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
right. Because you look at like all the people in the military. I mean, not the military, but the government, and you look at what their actual like annual salaries are. Like the president's salary is only $400,000. But then you look at like people who have been in government for like ever and what their net worth is, and it's like, what all are they doing to make those millions and millions of dollars?
Parker Pond, it's depending on the teacher for one, but teachers do not make that much money for the way
No.
they work.
A
No, they
teacher
don't.
makes about $50,000 a year, roughly.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, that's
It's shit.
not enough.
That's not a living wage,
nurses.
for one thing. That's
Nurses
another
do
thing.
more than what doctors do.
Teachers
Exactly.
use their own money for class.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm not trying to be defensive or anything, but I've, people in my family who are teachers who are struggling. Teachers do not make that much money, especially now.
Yeah.
With everything they have to deal with.
And they should make even more now.
Right.
Especially
Also,
with all the shootings.
Go ahead, Steph.
I'm so sorry, Heather. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was just gonna say also, when the pandemic was going on, right? Who is the first people they wanted to go back to work? Teachers. How many people were talking about how they wanted their kids to go back to school and having teachers figure that out? I have teachers in my family. I heard all of their stories.
Yeah.
Everything they had to deal with. They weren't offering them free tests. They weren't offering them bonuses. They didn't even offer them masks.
No.
They had to go get their own masks. Basic PPE. Okay? That's a problem.
That's a
they
problem.
make less than me. As when I was bartending, they make half of what I made, okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Teachers, I mean, I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true.
It's an actual problem. If they put money, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little heated. If they put money into teachers like they put into the military or the police, could you imagine what would happen to the future of this nation? I'm being serious.
No, I agree 100%.
Even if like, and also like if everybody was able to have, say like, I know because some states like Oregon, I think they still do it. But like back in like 99 when I was going to college, they like Oregon offered free community college. So I think about that and I'm like, I can understand like the university thing is hard depending on like which ones and for how long and how much money do you get like a stipend for something or whatever. But even if they offered like free community college for everybody, like that would be a good start.
The thing is that, and the great thing that I feel like is the most for teachers is they get the summer off, but that's it. You know what I mean? They don't make nearly as enough. I do feel like teachers are very overworked. They don't get paid nearly as much as they're worth. And I feel like there would be so much more better teachers if they weren't so overworked and they did get paid more, in my opinion.
Right. Because even when people like, I was going to go to school to be a teacher and then I just decided not to kind of at the last minute. But like where I live at the time, the starting wage was like $28,000. And now it kind of depends on where you live. Like, but I mean, that just was like,
starting.
This was the same with me with social work. So one of my dreams that I had, I wanted to be a social worker. It's something that I'm passionate about, like who I am.
I went to school for that. You should do that stuff.
I really want to. And it's not that money matters. Like I never was the kind of person.
You want to talk about not good pay. Social workers.
Yeah, exactly.
They only get paid $12 an hour. That's it.
Exactly. And they're in dangerous situations all the time. And then their emotions are into it and all kind. I mean, you know, and I it's not that I care about the pay. I truly have been a person that wanted to be a rich person or thought about life that way. Like that's just the truth. Money is great, but it's just not who I am. But when you think about all of the things, like even their benefits being cut, making no money, they're constantly having to be in these like really crazy situations. I have friends who are social workers.
So do I.
And they get nothing. I mean, nothing. It's just, it's crazy. And they're one of the
way overworked. Way overworked.
And
the caseload. They have too many, you know, caseload. It's ginormous. And, you know, you've got 10 people with just copious amounts of clients or cases, and just there's no, and then because of that, our kids suffer, just like that poor little boy that was, you know what I mean? Because there's just not enough people to take care of it. And it's just so fucked up. It is.
And people don't realize too, like with teachers, like just because they aren't in school in the summertime doesn't mean that they're not actually still working. Like a lot of people I know are teachers and they still have like certain classes they have to take every summer. There's organizing stuff they have to do every summer. So like at the end of the day,
some of them go work a second job too in the summer.
Right. Depending on their income. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know one of my aunt had a second job as a bartender, and she said she made more. Like, you know,
we do.
It's crazy. this world just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't.
And you think of too, like this is kind of I've been watching the news a lot more lately with the accident that happened in Florida. And it's like the amount of work that these people are doing, and I guarantee they're not making a doctor's wage, but they are doing back-breaking work, picking up rubble, looking for survivors of this 12-story condo facility. You know, it's just really messed up.
Yeah, there's going to be a huge lawsuit with that. I heard a story about the son of a lady who lived, and his mother's still missing, but he said
they found her. The 10-year-old.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you guys off. I have to go. Thank you so much for having me.
That's okay. We're going to end this in a minute, but Steph, I will email you tomorrow, okay?
Okay, thank you. Sorry, ladies. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. Have a good night.
Nice talking to you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
No, there was a guy that he talked about how it was either the night before it collapsed or the night before that he was on the phone with his mother and she was like, hold on a second. And he's like, what's going on? And she's like, the building just made a really weird sound. Like, I don't know if it was like a creaking or like something, but so yeah, there was evidently obviously it was being like looked into anyways because it had been sinking for like basically since it was built like I think in 91 or something, and it started sinking like in 2000.
It's only been 40 years. I mean, buildings like that just should not fall down.
Well, it was built on it was built on wetlands, and I think it was one of the first buildings that was built in that area. And so that's why it started sinking. And then it started happening even worse after they made them like replace the plumbing or something like that.
Right. This world ultimately is messed up. And I think what we all need to do is keep Brittany Spears in our prayers. And I hope and pray that this works in her favor and that she gets off of this conservatorship, regardless of what attorneys say or what anybody thinks. I hope and pray that it does work out in her favor, even though I am fully aware that there is like a 90% chance that it won't.
Right.
At least if it doesn't, there needs to be things changed about the plan of the conservatorship, right?
Yeah.
Because that's not a quality of life. And nobody who has worked as hard as Brittany Spears has and who has endured what she has, being in the industry for as long as she has, should have to ask if she can get in the car and go drive with her boyfriend.
Yeah, and not being able to like have like, you know, get her hair done or like nails or, you know, like be able to keep, it's almost like they were like trying to make her look like crap. So then they could continue to be like, oh, she's just not doing good mentally. You know, God forbid she actually looks, you know, good and, you know, well kept and everything. And
yeah, I 100% agree.
And maybe if they don't get rid of it, I mean, I really hope they do, or at least they make some like giant changes to it and her whole entire life is not consumed into the conservatorship. But maybe if they at least just like, if they got rid of her dad and they had just a non-biased third party person who made like $120,000 a year and it was just their job to kind of oversee stuff and they didn't get spiffs from the conservatorship or anything like that.
It'd be good.
But
I think her dad is ultimately what the problem is.
Yeah.
Right? It's her dad. He's literally living the life of luxury because of his daughter. And the sad part about it is it's not as if his daughter wouldn't have taken care of him. You know, she's a multimillionaire. It's not as if she wouldn't have taken care of him if he was doing right by her.
Right.
But she shouldn't be forced to have to take care of him when he's doing that to her. It's like paying your abuser to abuse you.
Right. And I think that's probably what bothers Brittany Spears the most. Like, how would you feel if you're walking into a courtroom and you're paying for everyone's attorney, including your own?
Yep.
I think that's the saddest part. There's so many sad aspects to it. And I just have to say that documentary and the Free Britney movement is what did it. Had her fans never did this, I really don't think that it would have been this far. I don't even think that she would have known till this day that she couldn't petition the conservatorship. I just wish that she would have known it sooner so she hadn't been stuck in this for so long.
Well, and how weird is it that the attorney she has right now has literally been telling her, like, I don't think you should move forward with this. I'm sorry, that's not the right attorney. Boom, you're fired.
No, that's why she had said, when you listen to her, you know, she had built a close. Okay. Well, I'm going to end it in a minute anyway. But thank you, Heather, for coming up. But she had built a close relationship with the attorney that she has now. But it's obvious that this attorney is more on the other side.
Yep.
And doing what benefits them. And he's probably getting paid.
Yep.
To pretty much corrupt everything for her.
Steer her away from doing it.
So she needs to get a new attorney. If she doesn't get a new attorney, I definitely think that everyone's paid off, in my opinion. If she can't get a new attorney, at least that everyone else can pick her attorney, and their attorneys, they're paying for it, but she can't pick her own attorney.
Yeah. There's no way that her dad, I mean, it's just crazy. She, if her dad can pick his team of people, she needs to be able to pick her team of people because it's her freaking money. Like,
exactly. And that's what I think is the saddest part. So we're going to pray for her, and hopefully everything turns out good. I really do hope that it gets better for her, because no one should have to live this kind of life. No one. And it's sad. But everybody, to all replay watchers, because I love my replay watchers, don't think I forget about y'all. Make sure you let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen. Do you think that she is going to get out of this conservatorship, or do you think that it's very unlikely? I always love reading comments, so let me know what you guys think. And of course, thank you, Goose, for coming up.
Of course.
It's always a pleasure to have you up here, because you're so smart.
I hope that everybody has a good night. I'm going to hop down. So
Okay,
you can
sweetie.
do your stuff.
I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, I haven't been on camera. Sorry, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. This was obviously such a great live. No drama. No drama. Isn't it nice when there's no drama? Even though I always like lifesavers, you guys. Even though drama is more popular and people love to watch drama, we don't like drama over here, right? We try to avoid it. We can talk about it. We can discuss it. We can dissect it. We can analyze it. We find a solution, but we don't insert ourselves in drama, right? We stay out of that. We keep it classy over here. Okay. So there's always going to be hundreds of people in here when you're talking about drama. But I just want you guys to know, I'm not saying we're never going to talk about drama, because drama is very entertaining, but that's not what these lives are going to be from here on out. These lives are going to be hopefully educational and going to help you guys in your daily life, hopefully. We're going to have fun, but we are not going to be, this channel is never going to be based on drama, right? We don't want that. If you want to watch drama, then there are plenty of other places that you guys can go to, right? Speak for yourself, Tia. There is no class in this. You're silly, Heather. You have a lot of class. All of you guys have class, and you're highly intelligent. Thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys know how much you mean to me. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you to my mods, Steph, TXMA. Thank you for coming up here. Goose, my mod, thank you. Heather, my mod, thank you. You guys are amazing. Boston, the top mod that started it all, thank you for being so amazing. And we will be back tomorrow talking about paranormal activity. We're going to get into this new movie that's out. We're going to talk about a lot of paranormal movies that are based on true stories. And like I said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, we always have the best conversations, and they last for so long. So I'm going to let you guys go, get some sleep. Shout out to my replay watchers. Make sure you leave a comment below. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I love y'all, and I will see you tomorrow.